Hello there. What's going on? I'm here with Darth Vader. I'm James. I want to thank you guys for being here with us today. So what's going on with you, Darth Vader?
Ah, just living life, loving life.
That's it. One step at a time. One step at a time. Man, there's a
Exactly.
lot. We were talking earlier before setting up. Somebody sent me a hefty donation. I don't even know what this is about.
Oh,
It was like $3,000. I don't know who the person is.
whoa.
And I'm like, am I supposed to accept this? But it really is. It really, I have to wait here.
I mean,
Please confirm you received this. It's so weird. It's crazy. I'm trying to get in touch with the person. Yeah, I mean, it's still unbelievable. It's in the Cash App. It's like, it's been sitting there for days. I'm like, this is this. This is weird. Anyway, let's go on. Well, friends, we just want to thank yous for being here. Thanks for the hard work. Blessing to you. Blessing to you as well. Listen, we got a show for you. We got a show for you, says
hmm
VeggieTale. Oh man, our world and everything that's going on in it. Please let us know from the start. Do we have any echoes? Do you hear our voice okay? Are we coming through okay? Because last time I did a live stream, the echoes was really bad, and I didn't even want to edit the videos that I did. It was they're terribly bad. I didn't have the setup correctly, and the person's setup didn't match my setup. I have the setup with you and me and you, Darth Vader, and it works for us. But I think when certain people come in with different mics, it can definitely frustrate everything else. So lesson learned. I want to make sure before we go anywhere, we start anything, that we have this we have this thing. Sounds good. Okay, we have that under control. All right, confirm. The demo rats.
Yeah, boy.
With a name like that, yeah, I like you already. The
I
Democrats,
do too.
cancer for America. I love it. The Democrats. Oh Lord, that's epic. Oh, that right there. You deserve your own YouTube channel, my friend. Actually, with a name like that, you gotta get yourself a podcast. Anyway, all right, no echo. Great. Thank you for confirming that, guys. Listen. We have a lot on our list today. We're gonna be doing some laughing in the process. We know this world is pretty sick, man, and we definitely gonna be talking about Mr. Trump got assassinated. Well, almost got assassinated, but by the grace of God, you intervene. But how about we begin with Awaken with JP, the Secret Service doing the assassination attempt. I think this was epic how this went about. Let's take a listen.
Hi, we're Agents Cletus and Spinetti, U.S. Secret Service. We're here doing a pre-event security sweep where Trump will be having his rally in 2 weeks here in Pennsylvania.
That's right. The security of the president and his life are our only objectives. We're going to need this tree line taken down to offer more of a clear line of sight from that area directly to the podium.
Hey, Spinetti, what do you think of this building 150 yards from the podium with a ladder affixed to the back of it?
150 yards? We should consider that outside of the 500-yard perimeter.
Copy that.
Hey, it looks like this roof has a pretty clear line of sight going straight to the podium. You think we should station someone up there?
Negative. The director said the roof is way too sloped. She considers it too dangerous for agents whose job it is to take a bullet for the president.
What is that, about a 10-degree angle?
It's actually 5 degrees. So no agents up there. Instead, she wants them up there on that roof with a...
I know. I'm not sure if we're supposed to be laughing about this because this is serious matter. But guys, this is the narrative. This is what they want us to believe.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
It's like, come on, man.
All right.
Like,
Are
you,
you trying to disrespect me? You want? You just call me stupid because that's what you want to do. Just call me stupid. Just
so
disrespect me, and let's get on with it.
yeah, like it's like just call me stupid to my face.
Yeah, you are insulting my intelligence.
So, for any of those who don't know,
Yeah.
this is generally what happens. Like Secret Service will go in a week, a couple of days before. They'll scout out the area
Mhm.
and address any security concerns or areas that need to be addressed,
Yeah.
and areas that need to be covered.
Yep. Yep. Exactly. And they should have known.
That is a huge area that needed to be covered. Why wasn't it covered?
That's a big mistakes. Somebody say Obama's behind it for sure. Yep, I listen to you and I hear you, my friend. Yeah, it was a huge mistake. All right, let's keep going.
30-degree slope.
Roger that. So, any agents stationed on the ground over by the ladder of that building?
Now, that building 150 yards from the stage is outside of our 500-yard perimeter.
Pause real
Big
quick.
numbers. Copy that. Now, in the unlikely
The one other thing I want to mention is when what went down. They did say that they found a Home Depot receipt for a 5-foot ladder in his pocket
Yeah,
that he bought that day. Now,
yeah.
if you someone actually made a video, and if you look it up, that ladder is not a 5-foot ladder. That's more of a 10-foot ladder.
And it looks like that ladder was there before, positioned before.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's interesting how they can find small details like that, but the elephant in the room, they can't figure it out.
So we'll get back to that in another video we check out later.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about.
Why that ladder might have been there.
Yeah,
Because a 5-foot ladder would not have gotten him high enough to get on that roof.
yeah. Mercy. Anyway, let's keep going.
event that there is a disruption, what's going to be our exit strategy for the president?
I think we'll just kind of feel it out in the moment, see what's up then.
Go with the flow, kind of like a Taoism.
Exactly. Kind of rise to the occasion kind of thing. All right, we're all secure here. Good work today, Spinetti.
Oh, thank you, sir.
It's a good day for a rally.
Cletus, we've got reports of a man with a rifle near Building 3.
Copy that. I'll get eyes on him in about 30 minutes.
Right here, flat on the roof. He's up now.
Cletus, yeah, we're now being informed by 37 eyewitnesses that the man is climbing atop Building 3 with a device shaped similarly to a rifle.
What is he hunting?
Probably. There's a lot of whitetail in the area.
Well, venison's pretty good if you know how to cook it right.
Sure is, yeah. Butter, some red wine.
All right, well, just report back to me and let me know if he gets a deer.
Shots fired.
Did he get one?
Apparently he was shooting at the stage.
What? There's deer on the stage?
They're saying he shot Trump.
What? That doesn't sound right. Let me check Twitter. Oh my God, he shot Trump!
What? Oh my God,
Yeah, we got him! Oh God.
Wow, this is the buffoonery is out of control here because it's kind of something like that, especially the ladies who were supposedly guarding Trump, a 6'2" individual with this 5 feet something women. We can say a lot about that, and this is not an attack against women, but they were not even Secret Service agents. They were not even properly trained. It was all about DEI, from what I heard.
DEI and DHS.
DEI and GS. Well, I heard DEI equals to DIE.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm all for women being able to do certain jobs,
Absolutely. Yeah.
but when you have a woman who sits there and cowers behind the president for cover,
Yeah.
like 3 feet behind him,
That's not good.
That's not good. Number one. And number two, if she's not tall enough to cover him,
Yeah.
that's not good either.
Yeah.
Because she can't do her job properly.
That's
I mean,
kind of a big deal.
he was going for headshots, and it was like,
Yeah.
come on, man.
Look at this video. This is Trump coming into at the RNC that happened recently. I'm not sure if you see the difference here. There are no women protecting him, and look at the size of these men.
Oh yeah. That was a huge difference. I think he ended up getting either a new assignment or he ended up getting private security.
Yeah, why could we could have done that before the assassination attempt, right? But it had to that had to happen for you to fix the mess. Well, we're gonna come back because we gotta talk about this secretary director who has resigned. Good for her. Anyway, let's talk about that.
Oh God, this is bad. Dude, just calm down. What do we do?
I don't know. I thought you knew what to do.
Holy shit, dude, we could have been killed.
I know.
Okay, we gotta get to the stage. Come on. Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think it's loaded. Come on.
Is he aiming in his face?
Yeah, he looked directly down the barrel. Like, rule number one.
You don't ever do that. And I don't own one, and I do have license to carry, but I haven't purchased anything. But this one thing I know, you shouldn't do that.
Rule number one of gun safety: never point at anything you're not willing to destroy. So, I mean, unless you're trying to, and he has his thumb on the trigger.
Oh my Lord, this is terrible. Oh my Lord, this guy is ridiculous. Oh God.
I think it's loaded. Come on.
He's fully committing to the bit here.
What do we do when we get to the stage?
I just take cover behind the president. He's got a big body.
Copy that.
Now what? Get your head down, idiot. There might be more shots fired.
Sir, Mr. Trump, do you watch out for your blood? It's getting all over my suit.
I don't even see any deer up here. He might have been trying to shoot the president.
Really?
Maybe. Okay, they're moving him. We're losing our cover. Let's get to the car. Okay.
Where's the car?
What? Why? I don't have the keys. I think someone else parked it.
Why is there no one here to help us?
I don't know. Like, they got the president in the car. Let's get there. Secure the perimeter of the vehicle.
Copy. Hey, how do you know if you're having a panic attack? I think we're good.
Okay, good. I think we're at the wrong car.
Yeah, no one's in there.
Huh? Yeah. Looks like this just isn't the right car.
When we were running up, I could have sworn it was a giant black SUV.
Oh, I could have sworn it was. We at Trump's Secret Service detail that works for the Biden administration consider the security of today's rally to be a great success.
That's right. Let's not forget that only one president was shot today.
And he only got shot once.
And it was in the ear, and he has 2 of those. Plus, he lived.
And we neutralized the would-be assassin in under 60 minutes from the first sighting. That's pretty good.
That's fantastic, especially when you consider that that is less time than your average episode of 60 minutes. We'd also like to thank the director of the U.S. Secret Service for her initiatives in hiring a diverse team of agents with a diverse range of abilities, good and bad, when it comes to protecting a former president from being murdered in public.
Yeah, as part of the mentally handicapped community, there's not many other organizations that are willing to hire people like us for jobs that involve having guns and keeping presidents alive. So for our work today, you're welcome.
You're in good hands, America.
Now, if you'll excuse us, we've got to go eat mayonnaise out of jars because we think it's peanut butter.
You have any more of those paint chips?
Got a few.
That right there is a perfect description of the, I don't know if you will call it incompetence, but I would say incompetence slash intentionality. That's why I entitled this incompetence or intentionality. But anyway, I think there was some serious intentionality here. There were some serious mistakes made, and I think JP did an excellent job exposing the nature of that.
I love the little raspberry at the end.
Oh my lord! You know, friends, it really works. Was the act of God, and if you think about what was done and how the shot actually went by his head, I do have there's a video that went viral, and I've spoken about this on my channel. But if you look at kind of like how close of a shot it was, like it makes no sense that Trump is still alive today. It makes no sense whatsoever. Like,
So the other thing I want to note is even after everything was said and done, now, like I said, I've talked to someone who was at the rally, and I showed him this clip. This is a clip from another video. It's like a 13-second clip.
yeah, this one right here.
I just sent it to you in Discord.
Okay, let me play this one. This is how close of a shot this was. Right, look at this.
Take a look what happened.
So from the time he said what happened, he turned his head.
And move forward.
He moved forward and turned his head. That right there, that little gesture saved his life. And this is why people believe this was a divine intervention. This was a miracle. And I said, yes, it had to be. Because were it not for this little gesture, we would have brain matters everywhere. We would not have.
And it would have been another civil war.
Oh, easy. Because people would not have tolerated this, because a lot of people have been saying they targeting Trump. And if somebody wanted the man gone that day, it's just what it is. There's nothing to confuse here. Anyway, we're going to be talking about that. Let me not go ahead of time. Right there. If after you see something like that, you don't believe God exists, you don't believe in divine providence, I don't know what to tell you, friends. Let me pull up the video. I don't know what else to tell anybody who's still struggling with the reality of God. Anyway.
So where everybody's focused on, the female agent who can't get her holster in her pew pew in the holster.
Yeah.
Right? I'm more focused on what's going on behind her.
By the way, Milani, I just want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. It's an honor to have you. Okay.
Scroll all the way down.
Did you just send it?
Yeah, I just sent it.
Nothing yet.
No?
Interesting. A lot of time we meet on Discord to share what we're going to be talking about. So that's been our communication. So trying to send it again, and I'll double check again and see what's going on.
Guys, I sent it in the wrong place.
You probably did.
Here.
Before we listen to this.
There we go.
Oh yeah. She went off. I know. I like her. She's good. All right, let's take a listen to this video. We're adding that to the list.
There's no audio, but what you're gonna see.
And she's just like right there.
And there's this audio. Okay, so watch the guy in the khaki in front of the SUV. Okay,
and she's just like right there.
And there.
Okay, which guy?
The one with the sunglass. Yeah, that one.
That guy.
Watch him.
There's this clip of a Secret Service agent talking on his headset while they are escorting Trump into a vehicle. The guy then points his gun at Trump for a moment, and then he puts it down.
And she's just like right there.
Okay, so wait a minute. So people are saying there's no way he acted alone. It looks like he was talking. What was he talking about? They should have an audio recording of some of these discussions, right?
Should be somewhere.
Wow.
But if they may not. But
They
you
may not.
see, obviously he's talking. He's at the front of the vehicle. He steps to his left as he's just after he gets off the radio. He steps to his left, then steps forward
That is interesting. I never saw.
and levels his weapon directly at Trump between the door jamb and the vehicle.
Why would he have done that?
Secret
And
Service
then
agent
stops
talking on his headset
and
while they are
decides
escorting
not.
Trump into a vehicle. The
That's
guy
what it
then
looks
points
like
his
to me.
gun.
Whoa.
You see that?
This is weird. Why would that be aimed in his direction? Was there any?
And it looks like he's looking directly at him.
I mean, like, take the shot.
Yeah.
You can't do that. It's too obvious. Oh my lord.
And it looks like he has second thoughts about
Have
it.
you noticed
Me.
he's the only one wearing
Now,
it?
me and the other person who was at the rally have differing opinions. Like, this is just a bad angle, that he may be
aiming at something
aiming
else.
at something else. But to me,
That should be investigated, though.
this looks like he's aiming directly at Trump as Trump's getting in the vehicle. And he's aiming between the vehicle and the door.
Golly.
But then he decides,
that is actually interesting.
like he was given an order to take him out as he's getting in the vehicle.
We have a lot more questions.
This is something that people were missing because they were so focused on the one agent who couldn't get her pew pew holstered.
Yeah. They missed the mark, and this was more significant. Thank you for that, man. Wow, guys, what do you make of this? We're gonna keep talking about this, but thank God that thing didn't go according to plan. We're gonna shift gear a little bit here. We're gonna come back to Trump. Don't worry. Kamala Harris is pretty much the presidential running person, nominee, right? And that's a nominee. Since Biden has resigned, and those of you who you knew that was coming, right? He resigned just this morning.
I called it 2 years ago.
Oh, you did. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that too. Yeah, that was 2024 update. Biden explains his decision to pass the torch in a primetime address. When I've listened to the address, and I'm like, there's a lot of gaslighting going on here. It's
I told you, he's going to get sick and he's going to drop out. That's exactly what's going to happen, and they're going to replace him with somebody else, whether it be Kamala or Big Mike.
You know, Dr. I got to ask you a question. Are you a prophet?
No, I just see the writing on the wall. That's all there is.
Are you sure you don't get dreams and vision from the Lord? Because you've been right about a number of things.
Not that I'm aware of, but
common sense. 1 + 2 equals, that's all. That is amazing. But here is just a little segment of that. There's no way you can sit through 10 minutes of this. This is like gaslighting after things. I mean, you're going to see what I'm talking about.
I'm speaking to you tonight from behind the Resolute desk in the Oval Office. In this sacred space, I'm surrounded by portraits of extraordinary American presidents. Thomas Jefferson wrote the immortal words that guide this nation.
If he's in the Oval Office, isn't it supposed that he has the Kofifi? Why is he in the Oval Office?
That's a good question. Maybe he's already feeling better.
How's that possible?
Isn't it 7 days to 10 days quarantine, something like that? So,
at the very least.
Okay, I got you.
This doesn't make sense.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good question. I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Either this is a setup.
Yeah,
or
it could be green screen too. I don't know. But anyway,
and not to mention the fact that now he's got a spray tan just like Trump does. Look how he looks.
Yeah, he looks like he's been well taken care of before this one. Anyway,
George Washington, who showed us presidents are not kings. Abraham Lincoln, who implored us to reject malice. Franklin Roosevelt, who inspired us to reject fear. I revere this office, but I love my country more. It's been the honor of my life to serve as your president. But in the defense of democracy, which is at stake, I think is more important than any title. I draw strength and I find joy in working for the American people. But this sacred task of perfecting our union is not about me. It's about you, your families, your futures. It's about we, the people. And we can never forget that. And I never have. I've made it clear that I believe America is at an inflection point. One of those rare moments in history when the decisions we make now will determine our fate of our nation and the world for decades to come. America's going to have to choose between moving forward or backward, between hope and hate, between unity and division. We have to decide, do we still believe in honesty, decency, respect, freedom, justice, and democracy? In this moment, we can see those we disagree with not as enemies, but as fellow Americans. Can we do that? Does character in public life still matter? I believe I know the answer to these questions.
Spit that out right.
Because I know you, the American people. And I know this. We are a great nation because we are good people. When you elected me to this office, I promised to always level with you, to tell you the truth. And the truth, the sacred cause of this country, is larger than any one of us. And those of us who cherish that cause cherish it so much. A cause of American democracy itself must unite to protect it. You know, in recent weeks, it's become clear to me that I need to unite my party in this critical endeavor. I believe my record as president, my leadership in the world, my vision for America's future, all merited a second term. But nothing can come in the way of saving our democracy. That includes personal ambition. So I've decided the best way forward is to pass the torch to a new generation. That's the best way to unite our nation. You know, there is a time and a place for long years of experience in public life. There's also a time and a place for new voices, fresh voices, yes, younger voices. And that time and place is now. Over the next 6 months, I'll be focused on doing my job as president.
Yeah, swallow those lies harder.
All right, we got. That's enough.
You can hear him swallow those lies so hard.
Yeah, but he is running. Piers Morgan said it, and I couldn't find the video. He's good enough to run for the next 6 months to control the White House, but he's not good enough to run for re-election.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think we have some serious contradiction here. It's either they really want him there because the people that are really behind the scene controlling him, because I really believe he's not the one in control, they want him there to just do whatever they want to do. Because if he's good enough to be in office right now, why isn't good enough for him to be elected to run for the presidency in 2025? Like, that makes no sense. Like, some serious contradiction here. But anyway, you know, so again, I just wanted to play that little clip showing some respect to the man while he talks. But here is Kamala Harris, who has been endorsed by
I
him.
have no respect for him.
That's not Kamala Harris, by the way. She's just impersonating.
Yeah, Kamala Harris, who, you know, pulls worse than Joe in every possible metric.
Yeah. So let's take a listen to this.
Well. You know, I knew this day would come. I knew it would come, you know? And I felt it in my ovaries. And I'll tell you something. I didn't think that sticking all those needles in that Biden doll would help, but here I am. We're gonna have so much fun. Now, I've been a little busy since the news broke. And, you know, I was galvanizing with many donors. And I asked my good friend Jean-Claude Van Damme Pierre to help me with my acceptance speech. So, here goes nothing. Oh, say, can you see? Okay. by the dawn's early light. Jean-Claude, I don't want to talk about dawn in the speech. It's okay, I think you're confused. Yeah, hanging around Joe just really fucked you up. Alright, I'm gonna do this my way, alright? I got this far. Okay. America. And Willie. Get ready. Because it is time to unburden what has been.
I can't take it anymore.
Oh my word! It's like nails across the chalkboard.
It's terrible. You know what's crazy though? I mean, this is a little side note. I'm not gonna go too deep into this. Black people are not for this though. You know, I thought black people were gonna support Kamala in great numbers. That's not the case. Look at this.
Like I said, she's polling worse across every possible metric than Joe Biden was.
Yes, and they're calling
Blacks, Latinos, everyone. Nobody likes her.
Yeah, but I think she's a means to an end, okay, stepping stool, because they don't really want her, but because they really go with identity politics in the Democratic Party, so they can't skip over the black woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't get a Garvin Newsom. You're going to be like, wait, she's the vice president. She should be the next person in line. And all you're doing this because you're racist. You know, they're going to play the racist card. And I think they had
No, I think it's because after the assassination attempt, they all know that there's nobody that's going to be Donald Trump.
There's desperation going on there, too.
Nobody wants to run against him.
Yeah. Watch this.
They know it's a wrap.
Why did you drop out, Mr. President? Why did you drop out of the election? Was it a difficult decision to make?
Before y'all Democrats start trying to play the race card, I want y'all to understand this. Kamala is not black. Her kids is not black. Her husband is not black. She does not come from black culture. So don't tell me I got to support Kamala Harris because she black. The race pander from the Democratic Party got to stop. It's really that simple. Thank you for listening.
So y'all get in here. President Biden done dropped out of the race. He endorses Kamala Harris. Kamala have not done anything but laugh for the last 3.5 years. She ain't did nothing but laugh her way through the last 3.5 years. I mean, and the dialogue, the talks that she did do or have was so misconstrued, couldn't understand them. Most of the time, nobody knew what she was talking about. Y'all, come on. Is Kamala, is she the one? Is she who America wants to hold nuclear codes?
Now, why should you be offended? You would think, oh, yeah, we black.
The truth is, black people are not that stupid after all. I just want to say this. Even black Democrats, they actually can think when, you know, you give them the opportunity to do so.
Oh, no. I mean, most people can, and they can see that, you know.
Oh, my goodness.
You're putting up an idiot.
I like to say black people are monolithics, but I think that's changing tremendously. So, yeah. That is amazing. I love the takes.
Quick side note: if you have the video playing, you gotta
mute myself.
Mute yourself, yeah.
Okay, all right, we'll do.
Wants to hold nuclear codes.
Now, why should you be offended? You would think, oh, well, yeah, we black people, we supposed to support our black folk. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, let me explain something to you. You should be offended beyond rapport because of the fact that somebody is willing to put someone in a seat for their color, even when they're not qualified to do a favor for you. Let me explain to you how the last 4 years have went. Up 3, coming into this 4. Let me explain something to you. So for the first three years, Kamala has not cared about the black community, okay? Kamala and Biden have been doing everything in their power to support illegal immigrants.
Man, if you love black people, if you love black women, you would not want Kamala Harris to stand for president of the United States, you know. If you love black women and support black women, you wouldn't want Kamala Harris to serve as president of the United States.
Ain't nobody voting for Kamala Harris, y'all. I don't know why y'all keep saying vote for Kamala Harris. It's not happening. She would never step foot as the president ever in her life. And for black people to vote for the Democratic Party, regardless of how you put it, is stupid. Y'all don't know the history of the Democratic Party. They've never been for black people ever.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. All right, I mean, I'm gonna give you guys his channel for those of you. I'm sure many of you who watch him, but I'm taking some of these clips from Black conservative perspective. But listen to this girl. This is the person I wanted to listen to. Boy, you think you heard some stuff? Wait till you see what she does.
All forgoed, actively forgoed a primary process, and they were telling us that Joe was ready to go, even though you and I both knew that Joe probably hasn't known what day it is since about 2022. And now we're expected to support Kamala Harris, who, mind you, is not only a member of his administration, so an active participant in what is going on in Gaza, but she's also a cop, a prosecutor who ruined a lot of black families in California. She was actually so unpopular in her home state that she had to drop out of the 2020 race prior to the voting because she kept coming in 5th place in all the polls. So no, I will not be supporting Kamala Harris. I don't care how much they black girl magic her over the next couple of months. I will not be supporting Kamala Harris, and you shouldn't either. Democratic nominees are voted for. They debate. They actually go through a real primary process. Kamala Harris did not do that. Joe Biden didn't even do that. And I want to be very clear that when Donald Trump wins in November, that it is because of the fact that the Democratic Party, the DNC, and the DCCC have decided to forgo democracy because they do not actually care about upholding democracy. Anyway, vote for Jill Stein.
Wow. That video warms my heart. It really does. It's the best video I've seen all day.
That is true.
Mm-hmm.
That is true. I don't think anybody was ready for this. I'll put a link in the description for his.
Honestly, I think this is the biggest wake-up rally call to the black community that I have ever seen. Is them trying to push Kamala Harris on them.
Oh yeah, they are mad. They don't like it. Well, he's going to encapsulate everything. This is Bishop Wooden.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Let's go to church.
Let's go to church. He doesn't play.
Nope.
I get a witness. Don't you let him. Because you see, these people have an agenda. And their agenda, one of the things, is to get rid of the church. To get rid of the church. To have abortion on demand. To the promotion of all things LGBTQ. You know, Kamala Harris, she's running for the vice presidency. I call her Miss Lock Up a Brother, for when she was the AG in California, a Negro knew, a black man knew that he was dead in the water. He was dead in the water. Matter of fact, you don't need a trial. You might well go into jail if you appear before her, because she took pride in locking up black folk. And now all of a sudden she's trying to be sister girl. I'm telling you, check out her record. She locked us up left and right. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Yes, you did, Kamala, however I should pronounce it. You did. And now we're supposed to forget all that stuff. And she boasted in California that she was one of the first. I got the tape queued, but my time's up to date. One of the first I showed you Thursday night to perform a same-sex marriage. Y'all want to see it? You want to see it? Let it rip.
Let the rings exchanged and the vows declared symbolize your commitment, sincerity, and affection.
Yeah.
And may your love never falter.
May your love never falter.
By virtue of the power and authority vested in me by the state of California, I now declare you spouses for life.
Cut. Now that is who's supposed to deliver us. Now, are you crazy? I like what Maya Angelou says. She said, when the people show you who they are, believe them. That's Kamala. And let me tell you, anybody who's trying to turn America into Sodom and Gomorrah is not good for the the nation, you're not good for the state, and you ain't good for black folk.
Amen.
We need husbands and wives. We need fathers. We need mothers. Men born male, women born female. We need real people. Wow! Somebody shout something to God.
And there you have it, y'all. That's the one good thing about standing on truth. See, you can't just stand on business. You can't just stand 10 toes down. You got to stand on truth because the truth will last forever. And because Bishop Wooden spoke truth in 2020, here we are in 2024. And boy, those words still ring true today as we prepare to defeat Kamala Harris at the ballot box. Fair and square at the ballot box. Y'all do me a favor and like the video. Subscribe to the channel.
Yeah, that felt so good to listen to. That was epic roast. Goodness.
Like, you could see the writing all over the wall. I mean, it was just everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, man. You know, I want to speak to black people. Listen, you cannot be this gullible. I was on Facebook the other day. This person put a post saying, I stand with her. And they put a picture of Martin Luther King, Obama, and Kamala Harris. I'm like, yo, you cannot be this gullible. It's black people. Seriously, like you're gonna let the Democrats play with your mind like that? They're disrespecting you. They didn't have a primary, so that means they didn't even value your vote and your opinion about their selection. They knew Biden was not doing good since 2021. It was very obvious something was wrong. They lied to you about it for 2-something years until the debate happened. Now he's exposed. They can no longer lie to you anymore. And now they just kicked them out the door and they brought in Kamala. That was part of her. That was part of the plan. And now they want you to just get behind this woman who's been the border czar, who did nothing for black communities, which the open border hurts black families. We want to make it about black people. I want to make it about Americans. Obviously, I look at this, I'm part of a bigger picture. But if you want to focus on black things, what has the Biden administration and Kamala Harris been doing for black communities in reality? Nothing.
Zero, zip, nada.
You know, I think what we really lacking in our country right now. Let me pull this up. This is my man Charles Spurgeon. I'm a Spurgeonite, so for those of you who don't know that, I love me Charles Spurgeon. He said it this way. All right, let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger. We lack discernment in our world. Here's the thing: discernment is not simply telling the difference between what is right and wrong. Rather, it is the difference between right and almost right. So good. Here's the thing: that is lacking in today's culture. That is lacking when it comes to black community. We lack discernment. Like,
And share the video.
somebody can literally pee on your legs and tell you it's raining and you believe that. The same Democratic Party who's lied to you and destroyed your communities and your families and your children and your economy, they get you to vote for them for how many years? I think it's time we start thinking differently. Like, it's about time. And again, I'm not here to be a politician. That's not my primary call. But I'll tell you something. You may not want to vote for Republicans at a large scope either, because there's a lot of corruption there as well. But if you're going to tell me the Democrats are better than the Republicans, while most Democratic-run cities are in a worse condition than ever before, there is obviously something wrong with that thinking.
Well, I mean, let's look at the facts. The first Republicans to have a black congressman, Republicans.
Exactly. Not
The
Democrats.
first party to free the slaves were Republicans. The first party to go to war to free the slaves were Republicans. Granted, the Democrats did the civil liberties bill, but they used that as a tool to enslave black people in a mental plantation, as LBJ put it.
We get these Negroes to vote for us for
decades.
And that's turned out to be true.
So
Psychological warfare.
which party is the party of racism? Which party is the one for black folk?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You tell me.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, yeah. Which party wants you to become government dependents? Right? They want you to
Exactly.
rely on them.
Which one hands out
Yeah.
more to black
Hmm.
people and wants you to be
Yeah.
their baby daddy?
Absolutely. Replace your fathers in the home. And black communities are hurting because their fathers are gone. And our children are acting up, and the youth are joining gangs. And they are hurting black families as a result. Which
Mhm.
party did that to you? The Democratic Party did that to you.
Mhm.
Um,
Which
yeah, we
which
can,
ones installed redlining and
yeah,
all this other stuff?
which hurting black communities.
Wasn't Republicans. I tell you that.
And I'm not saying Republicans are sinless. There were Republicans who
Oh
supported
yeah.
things that do not benefit the country as a whole, even black families. We understand that. But if you're going to look at policies and history and who has done more damage to black communities, it is the Democratic Party.
Not to mention the fact that the Democratic Party was solely started by a KKK member.
Mm. And the Republican Party started in order to push back against the
KKKs.
KKK and to give black communities a voice in politics.
So
Interesting history too.
just putting it out there, I mean, you might want to think about rethink your structure on
Yeah,
some
yeah,
of this stuff and actually look into some of the history behind the parties.
yeah, yeah. Next video here is I believe in the gift of prophecy. I believe God can raise prophets, and He's gifted them to speak on their behalf. The Bible says the prophets are like the seers in the Bible. They have the eyes of the Lord, the heart of the Lord, and they speak on behalf of God. A prophet is simply a mouthpiece for God. That's literally what the word prophet mean. So the Bible actually tells us there will be a gift of prophecy in the last days, and I believe Jesus can give visions and dreams to whoever He wants to communicate with us. But at the same time, while this is true, the Bible said there will be, God will pour out His Spirit upon all flesh. People will prophesy. Women, men will have visions. Old men will have dreams. That's true. But at the same time, we got to be careful that every person who claims to be a prophet is actually of God. The Bible says there are hypocrites who claims to be Christians in the last days. Watch out for them. And the Bible also went on to say, there it goes, be aware of false prophets. So there are false ones, while there might be some true ones. Some of them are going to come to you in sheep clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves. Anyway, I just to put that as a side note. I do believe in the gift of prophecy. I do believe people still prophesy. I don't believe because we live in a time after in the New Testament, that doesn't necessarily mean God cannot gift a person to do that. That's not biblically true. This girl here is called the Master Voice of Prophecy blog. I'm skeptical of her gift, but she did say 3 years ago, and I want to make sure I highlight this video. It is 3 years ago when she made this proclamation that Kamala Harris was going to be the president and Biden was going to move aside. But she speaks about something called the break breaker game, she called it, which is a video game. I want you to listen to this, share some thoughts with me. What do you think is going on here? I'm not here to examine her gift. I could do that in a different video, but listen to what she's saying and let me know if you agree or disagree.
Involving Kamala Harris. Please, would you go forth? If you haven't seen the first prophecy involving Kamala Harris, please would you watch that before you watch this one. But if you've already started, you know what? Go ahead. This one is called the Brick Breaker Game. The Brick Breaker Game. And it's dated November 4th, 2020. So this is what I received during the day. The banner scripture is this. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they that lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the ways of thy paths. So in this post, I was just ruminating on something that the Lord pointed out to me. It may not be of major importance, but I just thought it's strange. I was spending some time with the Lord, and I was just loving on Him and just telling Him how much I love Him from my heart. And the Lord's strange reply was to show me some pictures of prophetic people from the movies. So He showed me a few guys from movies that I've enjoyed in the past and how they're presented in a particular way by Hollywood to appear unstable, crazy, and yet these men were speaking and prophesying things that
Anyway, so according to her, Kamala Harris was supposed to be the president.
as God said that they will. I was still wondering over the things that God has would be retired, and that his VP
There we go. This is the part. All right, let me mute myself.
few days in succession about this, probably because of my own shock concerning what he was saying. He said that the man called Joe Biden would be retired and that his VP, Kamala Harris, would take the seat. He called her an unelected king. I also will make another video because that's another prophecy concerning that. And so I was still going over what I had seen in my dreams and how God said there would be no grace and mercy for America. And then he spoke to me right in the middle of my thoughts and he said, this is Kamala's election, Celestial. And over the next few days, he would randomly, well, God isn't random, but he would just suddenly say that statement. And I think he kept doing it because I kept watching every day as we would wake up and check to see if the Associated Press had come forward with a winner. And they would.
All right, we can say a lot, right? I think she just told on herself a little bit here. Did you notice that? She's making a prophecy 3 years ago about Kamala Harris, but she's also checking the news to see whether or not this prophecy is being fulfilled. Just a thought. I can tell you people could have predicted this. I think Darth Vader could have predicted this. I'm not sure if I think you did. Maybe not so early, but you did. A lot of people could have predicted that Joe Biden wasn't going to be the nominee for 2024, 2025 because of his age. It was that obvious. His age was already telling on him. And when he was elected, people knew that he was already weak. So they kind of knew that we needed to get a black girl in office from the very start. This was not actually I wouldn't call this a prophecy. I would say this was a plan. So
yeah,
if you follow the news closely,
I said this 2 years ago
yeah,
that
you mentioned it.
Joe's gonna come up with a mysterious illness
Mhm.
and they were gonna get him out of office.
Exactly. So I wouldn't call this a prophecy. I would say a person who follows the news carefully can make the prediction. So people like to say she is a prophet. I am not of that conviction. I need to see more. It's not, and again, when you identifying a prophet, though, it's not just a person who can tell the future. By the way, the devil can actually tell the future. He can tell it and then go ahead and make things happen.
Oh yeah.
That doesn't mean it's a prophet. It's a prophecy. Okay. Just to let you know, a prediction of something to take place in the future and it actually happens doesn't make you automatically a prophet. Because false prophets can actually make prediction. Do you know in the Bible, the false prophets, for example, a witch at Endor was the witch that Saul, the first king in Israel, he went to visit because he wanted to appeal to Samuel who had died, and he wanted to hear from Samuel because he was disconnected from God. When he went to the witch, a sorcerer, the sorcerer told him the truth. The sorcerer brought an operation of Samuel, and when Samuel spoke to him, it wasn't the true Samuel. It was actually an evil spirit, the Bible says. But when supposed Samuel spoke to him, that evil spirit told Saul, "You're going to die in battle." And guess what? Saul did die in that battle.
Mm-hmm.
So does that mean that evil spirit, that message, is of divine origin? No. The devil can predict the future. It can do that. I'm not saying she's of the devil. I'm not saying. All I'm simply saying is be balanced with people who are making prediction, because not every prediction that they proclaim is of God and it's of truth. You have to go a little bit beyond the prediction. You have to look at their life, how they live, yes, how what their perspective is about Jesus. You have to also consider the range of prophecy. Are they making a prediction in details, or are they making a prediction that is very general that can be altered later on? Because when you look at this could be easily altered. It could be easily, for example, you can say, well, if Kamala Harris is not president, what happened? Well, it could be a number of things. It wasn't God's will. It's not her time. There could be different things. So all I'm simply saying is have discernment with people online that are telling you that they have the gift of prophecy. be very careful how you follow them. And I'm not saying she's a false prophet. I haven't really examined the nature of her gift. All I simply tell you is there's a lot of potholes in her claims. It's not difficult if you have a biblical knowledge to discern what's happening here. So, but there goes another prophecy that she spoke about.
Um,
Go ahead.
real quick, look up 1 John 4:1-6.
1 John 4:1-6. Oh, yeah, I know where you're going. Okay, beloved, go ahead.
So,
let me make it a bit bigger for you.
Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits, whether they are God, because many false prophets are gone out into the world.
Exactly.
Hereby know ye the Spirit of God. Every spirit that confess that Jesus Christ is come in the flesh is of God. And every spirit that confesseth not that Jesus Christ is come in the flesh is not of God. And this is that spirit of Antichrist. Wherefore, you need to scroll down.
Wherefore
Ye have heard. Oh, up a little.
Up a little?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. What was
Oh,
that?
down a little bit more.
Wherefore ye have heard that it should come, and even now already it is in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Ye are of God, little children, and have overcome them, because greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world.
Correct.
They are of the world, therefore speak they of the world, and the world heareth them. We are of God. He that knoweth God heareth us. He that is not of God heareth not us. Hereby know we the spirit of truth, the spirit of error.
That was a mouthful. you can say a lot about this for little.
So, if this woman is who she says she is,
mm-hmm.
the first thing she's going to do is tell you that Jesus Christ is
Mm-hmm.
Lord,
mm-hmm.
and that he did come in the flesh.
Yep.
He is not, and was born as man, and
mm-hmm.
died as man,
That's
and was
right.
born again,
and
died for our sins.
Exactly.
If she does not claim that in any video,
that's a problem.
That's an issue.
Yep.
That's the very first red flag, and the ultimate red flag.
Mm-hmm.
Because then her visions and her so-called prophecies, I don't trust it. I don't believe it.
Well, here's another reason not to believe it. Listen to her claims right here, and I did a video about this. This is going to shock you.
That the prophecy concerning Donald Trump still stands, that this man will lose his life. God has already said that because of Trump's pride and because people worship him as an idol in the United States and give him a higher stature than Jesus Christ himself, God says that he will leave this man to fall into the hands of his enemies. And now he is saying that this man will die embattled, which is fighting for his very life, basically. I'm Celestial, and this is the Master's Voice.
Houston, we have a problem. You can unmute your
no. Okay, that's where she just messed up.
Yeah. First of all,
I am celestial and I have a voice. No,
yeah,
you are not. No, Chiquita.
Let me.
That is not what Bible says. That is not what Jesus said.
Yeah, well, we still have time because according to her, there wasn't, according to the facts, we had an assassination attempt. Nothing happened. Praise the Lord. Only your ear got shot. And I'm sure somebody else is going to try again because obviously the hatred toward Trump is massive. But I can also tell you, I think God's protection is over this man's life. It's very obvious the Lord is watching over him. But quickly, like, her prophecy has yet to take place. And I want to speak on behalf of MAGA. The MAGA base do not worship Donald Trump, right? you can say there are some people who goes too deep when it comes to Trump. I get that. But when you speak to the average MAGA supporter who love Donald Trump, they love the policies.
Exactly.
They love what he represents, and they love the fact he is kicking the behind of the people who have troubled this country for a long time. This is the
The
shadow government,
establishment.
the establishment, the unelected bureaucrats, the elitists. He is kicking their butts. This is why the MAGA base love Trump. He is not in the position of Jesus. The average MAGA person love their Lord. They love their Christ. They keep their Bible. That doesn't necessarily mean, and I'm speaking on behalf of them because some of them are my friends and I'm part of the group, and I do have a perspective on that. That is not the case at all. So that's already a false prophecy. And the idea that Trump is supposed to pass away, well, we still have time, in the light of everything that's going on now. We don't know what's going to happen, but her prophecy hasn't come true yet. So I can already classify her as a false one. That's why I'm very skeptical of her gift. I'm like, this woman is not really of God, as some people will assert. And there's a lot of women. You know what's interesting about this? And I don't mean to do identity politics. Most women who support her, get what skin color they are. Oh, you guessed it, black women. Most of the people who love this girl are black women. Most men
And
are
I
skeptical of
find
her
it
gift.
interesting that she's using Jewish iconography.
Yeah, interesting. Having her head covered and everything. We can say a lot about that. The Bible does speak about it, but it's, Jewish iconography. And come to find out, she is black Israelite. She does not follow the Christian teaching. She's a black Israelite.
That makes more sense.
They use strong Jewish iconographies in their. If you ever seen a black Israelite set up, it's like they really believe that they are Jewish. And again, that's fine if you want to believe that. Doesn't make it true. And again, yeah, if you look at a black Israelite, this is kind of what you get, right? So they're very, very strong with the Bible. But when you look at their setup, even their podcast, actually, if you go to a black Israelite, I saw a number of them. You get so much of that. Yeah, it's out there. That would be another video to research. Anyway, they're very strong, and they're very strong against skin color. They have an issue with white people. They have an issue with
Jewish people.
the Jewish people, and they hate the United States. They hate. And in many of her prophecies, when you carefully examine, it's not hard to tell she hates the United States. Is everything is bad for the United States. I do believe bad news. I do believe God gives gifts to prophets in that are proclaiming bad news. But when you listen to her, most of her prophecies are centered in the United States, and it's always bad news for the United States. And a lot of her prophecies are about death. It's all somebody's gonna die, somebody's gonna die, somebody's gonna die. So this is why I'm like, yo, I'll stay away from this woman and I'll go read my Bible if I were you.
Amen.
Oh man. So talking about Donald Trump, let's go to Benny Johnson.
What's up, guys? Boy, Benny. I don't really care if you're a believer or not. We all witnessed a miracle live yesterday. And by the end of this video, you are going to believe in miracles. I just put this up on X. We all witnessed a miracle yesterday. Look at that bullet. You know it's true. God had his hand on Trump. God's not done with America yet. What will you do to save America? I'll say it. Christ is king. Look at this. Look at it. Look at that. Wait till you see what I'm about to show you. Perhaps you've seen this image of the bullet whizzing by Donald Trump as it blows off his ear, or a big chunk of it. You can see the bullet distorting the air and space next to Trump's head as Donald Trump has his head turned sideways. Oh my. You've perhaps seen some of the iconic images of Donald Trump. This is the second that Donald Trump noticed the blood on his hand as he removed it from the side of his head, hearing his ear getting ripped off, feeling his ear getting ripped off. Donald Trump with the triumphant, defiant fist. They'll carve this face on Mount Rushmore. You know they will. I'll personally carve it on Mount Rushmore. Ladies and gentlemen, perhaps you've seen these images. There's something that Donald Trump's chief spokesperson and longest serving aide had to say this morning that shocked me to my very core. It's a man named Dan Scavino. If you know Trump world, you're very familiar with Dan Scavino. He's sort of in charge of Donald Trump's online personality. He's in charge of all of Donald Trump's social media accounts. It's a very big job, and Dan Scavino is a legend. Dan Scavino said something, again, that just shook us this morning. Here's what he says. Thank God last night's rally was one in which President Trump wanted to use and reference the Jumbotron, something that Donald Trump does sometimes, but doesn't do other times, causing him to slightly move his head at the moment the shots were fired. He is grateful for all the prayers, love, and support as we prepare for Wisconsin. Check this out. Trump's sudden head movement rotated his head clockwise, milliseconds away from this headshot, blowing out effectively the back of his head. Watch this slow motion turn at the very last second as the first shot is fired. First, let's watch it at full speed.
I want to really see something that said, take a look what happened.
You've seen this clip, ladies and gentlemen. Now you heard the first shot ring out. You see how quickly this is all happening. Now watch it in super slow motion. You can see President Trump referencing a large Jumbotron that had some economic data on it. Donald Trump turns his head when he hears the shot. The blast takes his ear off in that second. Let's go back. Donald Trump turns his head right there when he gets hit. There he's hit. The turn of the head, the clockwise turn of the head saved Trump's life. In that very instant, ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump is alive right now because of divine intervention. Check this out. You probably haven't seen this. Flag got tangled today at the Trump rally right before Trump came on. It looks like an angel. This was the flag behind Donald Trump that was tangled. Many online saying it looks like there's an angel literally hovering over the stage at Donald Trump's rally. Everybody online is looking at the schematics here and saying, oh my heavens. This person had an open shot on the president, this monster, this dead monster, left-wing Democrat, had an open shot on President Trump. Eyewitnesses say that they screamed and yelled for the police to do something about it, and nothing happened. The head of Secret Service and leader of the security detail should resign immediately in disgrace, says Elon Musk. But when you look through the actual footage, of course, you see how much advantage evil had in this moment, but God had other plans. Best footage I've seen so far. If you've never seen what divine intervention looks like, this is it. Ladies and gentlemen, the high-def footage of Donald Trump dodging within millimeters death and staring death in the face and staring back. It's having everybody on the internet saying this is divine intervention. Every frame of the attempted assassination is nothing short of proof that it was divine intervention. There's so much power in these photos. These are the most iconic photographs ever taken in American politics. Without question. Everybody's saying it. There's nothing short of divine intervention that Donald Trump is still alive. This country was an inch away from national catastrophe and a political future we don't ever want or fathom. Pray for our country. Life sometimes hangs in the balance with a head tilt. Without President Trump tilting his head at the last second, he'd be dead right now. Feels like divine intervention, honestly, says Robbie Starbuck. Divine intervention. Literally a fraction of an inch, the last millisecond, 100% divine intervention. If you are a believer, you know that God spared Donald Trump for a reason. Yes. New angle of the attempted Trump assassination shows the turn of his head at the very right moment. What do you think God had his hand over Trump today? Really remarkable. Just a tilt of the head, says Carrie Lake. God has bigger plans for President Trump. He has bigger plans for all of us. It's time we come together and save this country. Marco Rubio said God protected President Trump. This was a perfect take and right away. I believe that this was God's hand in intervention, says David Harris Jr. Thank you, Jesus. The head tilt at the very end. Moments like this where God intervenes, a beam of light in your shooter's eye, a gust of wind against the bullet. Behold, a miracle. We all witnessed a miracle yesterday. People may think memes like these are corny. I think they're real. I think it's accurate. You know, I think it's accurate. There's no other way to explain it. Trump turns his head at the very last second. How would you explain it? How do you know miracles are real? Look how close the bullet was to ending Trump's life. If it hit him in the chest, in the throat, in the face, there would be no more President Trump today as I record this. This was a miracle. Just going to say it. A miracle, says some of Trump's oldest and longest serving advisors and Donald Trump's own family member, Laura Trump. Fear not, for I am with you, with a photo of Donald Trump protected. Donald Trump himself this morning saying God alone prevented the unthinkable from happening. We will fear not, but instead remain resilient in our faith, defiant in the face of wickedness. Our love goes out to the other victims and their families. We pray for the recovery of those who were wounded. The true character of Americans remaining strong, determined, not allowing evil to win. I truly love our country. I love you all. I look forward to speaking to you this week in Wisconsin. People are making AIs like this. Goodness. Donald Trump is safe. Donald Trump back in New Jersey. This is the footage of Trump getting off his plane late last night after the injury and after being wounded. But Donald Trump is walking. He is on his own, walking on his own fruition, and is able to do the stairs still after getting shot better than Joe Biden. I'll just say it. One of the biggest names last night on TV saying this is divine intervention was Vivek Ramaswamy. Vivek Ramaswamy saying, nope, this is God. There's no other way to explain it. And this is what Trump and his team are saying also.
Now, first of all, as we heard the story of that person, an innocent, enthusiastic rally goer who was shot and killed, first our heart goes out to them and our condolences goes out to that family. But I should say this, Trace, is that I personally believe that God intervened today, not just on behalf of President Trump, but on behalf of our country. If you think about this, 1 centimeter's distance in the path of a bullet was the future of not only Donald Trump's life, but I think the life of the United States of America. Imagine what we would be talking about today were it not for a hair's length difference in the path of a bullet. And I think that that's frightening. And I think that this is a moment for us all to step back. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat, voting for Biden, voting for Trump, it doesn't matter. This is a moment where if one positive thing comes out of this otherwise near tragedy, let it be this, that first of all, we saw a president, a commander-in-chief, who in his most vulnerable moment, you saw it unvarnished. He stood up, he took the fire, he took the hit, and still stood up for the people who he stepped up to represent. And I think the other thing we have to take away is that this is unacceptable in the United States of America. This is not who we are. Disagree or not, we settle our differences peacefully through free speech and open debate, not this way. And so if one silver lining comes out of tonight, let it be that. And I hope that we begin the process of healing as a country while avoiding what could have been a national disaster that really, without exaggeration, could spell the end of the United States as we know it had this gone a different direction.
Wow. I could not stop the video. I had to listen to this the whole way through.
Yeah.
I had to give Benny Johnson was just hitting all the notes for me that I didn't want to pause and be rude about. It's like, hey man, he's preaching. All I know is when the pastor is preaching, you sit down and you take notes. This felt like he was giving me a sermon. What do you think happened here on that Saturday afternoon? What is it, 6/11? By the way, I just want to quickly say this. I'm not sure if you can see my shirt. I did this shirt at least 2 months ago, before the assassination. Be strong in the Lord. Guess where this is found? 6/11 in Ephesians chapter 6. And people are connecting the dots saying 6/11 was the time when the shot rang from the weapon of the Thomas Crooks. So they believe 6/11, the text that says, again, you don't have to agree with the narrative. All I'm simply saying is it's a beautiful connection that they made. Let me pull that. So there it is. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God that we may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Interesting. So he got shot at 6/11.
6/11. Yeah.
In Ephesians 6/11, it's talking about God's armor protecting you. Just a nice little spiritual connection, very, very good. So what's your
given that, you can't tell me that God doesn't have his hand on this man and that he wants what's best for this country.
Yeah.
Like this was meant to be.
Yeah, it's impossible to deny it. You know, quick side note. At the RNC, you heard about the song that was played, right? Did you the
I
closing song?
watched it. Yeah.
Oh my man, did you make the connection? Did you make the connection? I had to do some research. I made the connection. Why did they play Nasiam Doma at the RNC? Why that song? Why didn't you finish with one of those heavy haters rap, rock and roll, like uplifting your spirit, pushing you to go out and vote? Why would they end with this? This lady actually,
So many times.
she went on to sing about it in English, and actually, when you listen to it, it's actually a very beautiful song. But why that song?
Okay.
I'm gonna show you something. They're saying this is odd. No president before has ever ended with a slow, calm type of song. Why did he choose that song? Well, this is what I found out. Let me see if TikTok will work for me here. I think he might explain it.
All right, I'm curious. Everyone noticed this.
All right, let's put ourselves on mute.
Does everyone notice this at all last night? When Trump finishes his speech at the RNC, there's a song playing when he brings his family up on stage. And that song is called Nessun Dorma. There's a film based on a book by Tom Clancy called The Sum of All Fears. Now, the premise of that book is that there's forces within the U.S. and Russia trying to create nuclear war, internal, unaware to the government. There's a scene at the end called the payback scene. And the payback scene is when the plot's uncovered and Russia and the U.S. eliminate their internal conspirators and avoid nuclear war. That song that plays throughout that scene is Nessun Dorma. Italian translation is No One Sleeps. Coincidence?
You hearing what's going on here? So at the scene of that movie, they play the song Nessun Dorma because there was an assassination plot to take out the president, and the president found out who the conspirators were. He then turned around and had every single one of them taken out. This is the song that Donald Trump played. You do whatever you want to do with that. Just and people made the connection. If you think Trump played that song just because he wanted to be nice and cordial, you are out of your mind.
That's Donald Trump for you, baby. He's playing 4D chess, man. I'm telling you.
Exactly. He's playing chess while they're playing checkers. Exactly. He realized now, this is why when a lot of the time when they were talking in the meetings with interviews and everything, are you thinking about fighting back? Are you going to do revenge? And he never actually gave a clear answer. And I'm in no way, please don't misunderstand me. Listen, we are Christians. The Bible says, love your enemy. We are not for that. Okay, we are Christians. But be careful how you apply that principle in politics. When it comes to politics and safety and wickedness, and as a matter of fact, read your Bible. You will find a lot of bloodshed against enemies of God's people. And you're gonna say, isn't God a God of love? Well, you have to understand something. In order for justice, safety, and the country harmony to happen, right? You have to confront evildoers. I had said this. It's not enough to talk about what is good. You have to get rid of that which is bad. And if you don't get rid of the bad and the rodents in your house, they're going to cause a problem. It doesn't matter how nice of a person you are. And I can tell you a little story. The Haitian president, listen, people need to make a documentary about this man's life, and I don't know why they haven't done it. Maybe I should be the one doing it. I don't know. I don't have the all it means. But here's the point: this guy his life was being threatened. They were calling him Hitler. They were calling him politics. His name is Jovenel Moise. He knew who these men were. He was trying to be friends with them. He wanted to actually win them. He wanted to take a Christian attitude about dealing with men that were wicked and wanted to take his life. So, you know what happened to Jovenel Moise at the end of the day? Well, there was a stand down order. Men with weapons went into his house. Secret Service moved out of the way. They walked into his bedroom, and you got the end of the story. He was so bad that they could not even recognize his body. He was splattered with bullets. Okay, his wife got shot, splattered with bullets to the point where they couldn't even recognize him. He had to have a closed casket. And people now came to the understanding, why did this happen to Jovenel Moise? It was very simple. Jovenel Moise was being too nice to people who was threatening his life, who wanted to have him killed. He was hearing the message for years. They threatened his life. They went on national television. They went on radio in Haiti and spoke about how they wanted to do this to Jovenel Moise. Jovenel Moise said, come on over, guys. Let's have dinner. Let's talk about how we can fix the country. These men didn't want to do that. They wanted him gone. So guess what? Those people eventually were paid by big payers, again, big government, bankers. They paid gunmen and went to the Jovenel Moise and had him assassinated. Go read that story. And if you think this cannot happen in the United States, I think you haven't been paying attention.
Yeah.
You just haven't been paying attention. This is
And,
why.
I mean, even in medieval times, you hear stories where a person would come to power who had siblings, and they were so afraid of keeping their power and maintaining their power, they would turn around and hire people to take out their siblings because they were afraid of just simple sibling rivalry.
Exactly. This was a very common practice. Because because the power install has to get rid of the one before because of retaliation. This happens, it's all over, it's all throughout the Bible. You don't have to agree with it. I'm just telling you, that's the reality
3
of
days.
things.
We heard over and
Yeah. So, boy, we can say a lot more. And all I'm simply saying is there are some people, they need to be terrified. There are some people who have gone after Trump in the way that they had. They should be scared. They should be. The fact the Lord protected his life, yeah.
Wasn't by mistake.
And if you think
And you know,
if you
the
think
Lord
leave him
says,
alone,
"Revenge is mine," saith the Lord.
But again, guys, we have to be careful with taking biblical stories and transfer them into politics. Politics is a different world. Me, Christian, I can never wish evil on you because I'm a Christian. I'm not a politician. But if I were a politician, guess what? I could not behave like a Christian to run a country when it comes to evildoer. It cannot work like that.
Even the Lord has his tools.
You listen, friends. You can't do that. You can be a Christian, but if you think you're gonna Christianize the nation and behave in a way that will only provide goodness and safety, while there are people who are trying to evaporate, annihilate your life, you're not paying attention. You haven't read your Bible correctly. Like go read the book of Kings. Go read Samuel.
Yeah.
Go read the bloodshed. Go read go see what David had to do with the enemies of God. All I'm simply saying is that's the reality. And if we're gonna read the Bible and be fair, just make sure you tell the whole story. Like that's how it works. Okay, and God knows that. And it's a real thing. It's a real thing.
Yeah, like I said, Lord says, "Vengeance is mine," saith the Lord. But even the Lord needs a tool.
Yes. Yeah. Man. There was this video. I had talked about it, but it was, one of the great recess guys. Oh, there he is. Thank God for Twitter. He's like, oh, I would do it on Twitter. I'm so serious. Like, I just type it and it just pops right up. There we go. So look at this, right? This is one of those Klaus Schwab's sidekick. His name is Yuval Noah. He's been one of those big mouths. He always got something to say. Listen to what he had to say about Trump.
Concerned that Trump might be elected again shortly?
I think it's very likely. And if it happens, it is likely to be the kind of like the death blow to what remains of the global order. And he says it, and he says,
I gotta play that again. If you ever wanted to know who are some people who might be behind the scene when it comes to what happened to Mr. Trump, you might, all I can say is follow the money. Follow the people who are hungry for power, and you will find them. It's very easy. All right, let's look at that one more time.
to what remains of, and if it happens, it is likely to be the kind of like the death blow to what remains of the global order. And he says it openly. Now again, it should be clear that many of these politicians, they present a false dichotomy, a false binary vision of the world, as if you have to choose between patriotism and globalism, between being loyal to your nation and being loyal to some kind of, I don't know, global government or whatever.
He's promoting globalism, but he's saying, hey, man, you don't have to choose. You can't accept both. No, they don't work. But anyway, did you hear what he said?
Mm-hmm.
If Trump wins, this will be a death blow to the global government. This will destroy our plan. That's what he said. That's all I need to add to that. I'm done with this little segment. Man, let's lighten up the mood a little bit. All right, make sure you guys go and subscribe to this man page because he's pretty good. He does reaction videos as well. He's 196,000 subscribers, and now he's got his name is the Marine Rapper. Let me add him here just to give credit to his substance, to his stuff here. Listen to his video, to this message that he has right there. Darth Vader, you shared this with me, and let's take a listen.
I feel like that one guy inside of the meme, wiping his forehead, he's sweating profusely cause he gotta choose and he feeling the heat. And there's two buttons that's right in the front of him. If I push one of them, change everything. One is for war, one is for peace, so I gotta watch all the words that I speak. Sight! First, I'm done with these idiots. The Secret Service and all of the persons in charge of protecting the citizens. Now there's a father that's wondering where is his gun? Where is his kid again? Went to a rally, he tried to shoot President Trump. He's no longer living in Thomas. Dummy, trying to be John Wilkes Booth. Now you just John Wilkes Booth. Pronouns was were. Trump look bulletproof. Trump got shot like the dude, but he went home with his crew. And the dude died on the roof. He fired too far left, no gun control or breath. You ask where I stand, yes, I'm pro-life, he's trans-deaf. He got him a grape, he tried assassinating Trump, but it ain't face him. He got up, fist racing up. Fire. This is for Corey, comparatory. Hero who died, now his family mourning. Promise I'll always be telling your story. Him of the Grim Reaper, others recording. Taking out all of you wanna be talking. Shooters who trying to get some of the glory. If they shut up, no, they all coming for me. Cause that Secret Service up. Except that guy with the gun. Should've shot the shooter climbing up. Watch that female in the front. That little girl ain't saving none. Should've cleared that building from the jump. They'd all be fired if I was Trump. You're fired. Now that the shooter said Matthew, I'm asking you, how did your son get the gun out the cabinet? That shit inside of his car and start traveling out to the Trump rally, climb up a canister, load up a magazine bracket and have the nerve lasting in rallies. His family's amateur. How did your son ever manage to become one of the dumbest crooks ever on planet Earth? Donald Trump got shot, survived like he 50 cents. Told his squad stop, nah, just to raise his fist with it. Blood up on his earlobe, wiped it off, he dripping it. Rode off in a black truck, presidential tintin' it.
Oh, that was serious.
Mm-hmm.
He said so much.
I like the one where he goes, his pronouns is was were.
Oh man, that is amazing. Yeah, yeah.
And my sympathies go out to the Compatory family.
Yes.
They,
Let's not forget that.
their father was a real hero, and I think any man would have done the same. Any real man.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've listened to the post. I've read the post of his daughter. Very great father. Great father. A Christian, by the way. A Christian.
Hmm.
I think he was a deacon in the church, and yeah, the man sacrificed his life on behalf of his family. We should never overlook that. So, yeah, yeah. Oh boy, you ready for another song?
Actually,
That building
before
in
we get
particular
into
has
that,
a
why don't
sort
we do the body cam footage?
Oh, is that the one with Benny Johnson?
I don't know if it's the one with Benny Johnson. I know it's one of them.
Yeah,
Nope, not that one.
not that one.
That's not the body cam footage.
Okay, let me see.
It's one of them.
Oh, that's the one right here, right?
No. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. Okay. All right, let's take a listen to this. Benny Johnson is on our channel again. We love us some Benny Johnson here. Anyway, let's take a listen.
What's up, guys? Boy, Benny, what is done in the darkness shall come into the light, and that light and truth shall set you free. We are beginning to claw out of the depths the truth about what happened on July 13th, the horrific failures that led to a bullet hitting Trump in the head and hitting 3 of his supporters, killing one of them. Who will be held responsible for these failures? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are finding out some truly horrifying facts, and I'm about to play you video that confirm the worst of your fears. We now finally have video from the Secret Service body cams from that day. Get ready. A very, very quick rundown of what we know from Senator Josh Hawley. We know, according to whistleblowers inside of the Secret Service, that they did not send Secret Service agents to protect Donald Trump that day. In fact, the lady Ghostbusters that you saw running around being incapable of holstering their weapons, LARPing as Secret Service, those people were just investigative agents, paper pushers from inside of DHS. They were not Secret Service agents. So they sent Donald Trump into effectively a kill box and surrounded him by a bunch of morons that didn't even know how to holster their weapons, much less use them in a tactical way to protect the president. Now we find out that rooftop that there should have been an officer stationed on. Well, there was an officer stationed on that rooftop. According to Josh Hawley here, Senator from Missouri, the police officer, the Secret Service officer, law enforcement left the rooftop, left their station because it was too hot. Donald Trump took a bullet to the head because some police officer or some Secret Service officer didn't want to be hot under the collar. Instead, they were stationed inside the building. But that doesn't make any sense. Because as we've shown you here from Congressman Eli Crane, who's a Navy SEAL sniper, who's standing right here in the position of Thomas Crooks, that even the snipers inside of the building should have been able to see Thomas Crooks. Thomas Crooks sat right there and fired off 5 to 7 rounds at President Trump and killed people. How the hell did this happen? Now, you can note in this video from, again, Congressman Eli Crane, who was a Navy SEAL sniper, that there was a sniper nest right there, that little window. There was a sniper nest for the Secret Service. He went, and you can see right here their view. The view from that sniper nest is perfect to kill Thomas Crooks. This is level 1 of Duck Hunt on Nintendo. And, of course, ladies and gentlemen, you can see videos like this where Trump patrons in the rally were literally filming Thomas Crooks climbing on the rooftop.
There he is right there.
Look at this.
Right there, see him? He's laying down, you see him?
Yeah, he's laying down.
These guys were filming Crooks as he was getting into position with his firearm. So, where the hell was the Secret Service exactly?
Because we have millions and
Look, there he is right there, clear as day. So the question was, where's the Secret Service? Well, now we know, ladies and gentlemen, because we actually have the footage. Now we know. Here it is, released seconds ago from Chuck Grassley's office. This footage is hot off the presses, less than 15 minutes old, sensitive content. Body cam footage provides more info on the Secret Service. Share with Americans. We need detailed accounts and answers ASAP for security failures. Transparency brings accountability. Video obtained from Beaver Creek Emergency Services Unit in compliance with congressional requests. So you can see here in the video a Secret Service agent who clearly didn't know what the hell he was doing up on that rooftop. And you can see Thomas Crooks. His body has been blurred out there. And you can see a couple of very, very shocking things from this video. We've added caption to this video, and I'll play it for you in just a second. I want you to pay attention to a couple things. One, their snipers saw him. The snipers saw the shooter. Why didn't they take the shot? They saw the shooter from their sniper nest, and they reported him. The snipers saw him. That's completely confirmed in the video. What's also confirmed in the video is that there were people inside the building who were suspicious. Who the hell were those people? We've heard about second shooters. We've heard about potentially they didn't answer that in testimony. What's going on here? We have the video here for you, ladies and gentlemen. Watch it. This is unbelievable.
So we don't know. So this is the guy
yes, that they sent yes, Beaver County sniper scene and sent the pictures out. This is him.
Okay, all right.
Rifle's right there, obviously.
Got it. So the bike in the back. Is he on that bike?
We don't know.
We don't know. So
I
we're
don't
just
know.
treating that as suspicious device.
Oh, one second. I believe the sniper that seen these and sent the pictures is right inside this building. Michelle, is Greg in there? All right, so if you go to that window that's open and yell for Greg, that's the sniper that sent the original pictures and seen him come from the bike and set the book back down and then lost sight of him.
Okay.
He's the one that sent the pictures out. I don't know if you got the same ones I did.
I think I did, yeah. He's like got his glasses on and he's...
So we had the picture of that.
I got that
okay, and then this is his bike with the stuff. And our sniper seen him walking away from that, I believe.
Okay.
But he would be right inside that window. He's the one that physically seen this, sent the pictures, and called it out.
Okay, so, and we have somebody detained, correct?
That I don't know.
Darth Vader, are you listening to these guys?
Oh yeah, I'm hearing every word they're saying. They were right inside that window.
They were inside a window and had enough time to take a picture and send it to somebody, but they weren't able to stop the guy.
Like they were less than 50 feet away.
That is amazing. What is going on? What? Oh, my Lord.
Are you kidding me? Why not?
You gotta be
stop
kidding me.
him.
Oh my!
Or get Trump off the stage or warn somebody. Why send a picture of all things?
You cannot be serious, yo.
It's like ridiculous.
You send pictures. One of your cops climbed, well, not a ladder. He was boosted up and he was able to see the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Even after he saw the guy, did he call and say, "We have somebody on the roof. Take the president off the stage"? Nothing?
Well, apparently the local PD, from my understanding, the local PD and Secret Service were on different radio frequencies.
Give me a break. What did he even call? Even if he had called his local PD, the announcement should have been made somehow.
Yeah.
Because he had enough time. I think a couple minutes afterward he took the shot, even after he was spotted on the roof.
Yeah. And the reason the officer dropped down was because he swung around and pointed the rifle at the officer. And the officer didn't want to get hit. So it's like, okay, well, that's kind of your job. And Uvalde called and wants their officers back.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
Uvalde.
hello.
Glad you made that connection. Yeah. Even if you want to get hit, what you did afterwards tells me a lot. A lot.
Like,
it means like, did you do enough to make sure this doesn't happen?
There was so many things that went wrong procedurally in this.
It was meant to go wrong. That's the conclusion I came to.
And so, if this roof is so steep, then how are they walking on it now?
That is a good point, and we do have a video that's gonna make fun of that in a minute. Anyway, let's keep going.
There were I don't know.
Detained on this side. Our guy that was just up here told me that there's a guy detained who's the owner of the bike, and I said, no, I think that's the owner of the bike.
Yeah, basically, when I got
We've been up here, so we wouldn't know that information.
We just hauled ass. We got over
Right,
it.
got it.
We hopped up
No,
over it.
yeah, that's no problem. Is that all your stuff?
That was one of our
Yeah. Yeah, so someone came up looking to treat him, and this record.
Yes.
Okay.
Copy. Gas is off to the building, just so you know.
Thank you.
PSP had some.
Yeah, they do. I talked to the guy. They were those people detained were filming. Maybe they were involved. Maybe they weren't.
Other than that, I haven't heard anybody.
Well, I think it's. The guys that saw them filming were like, oh, they were filming us, and then filming the guy up on the roof, and then filming us, and then when shots started firing, they tried to run away. It was like, isn't that what everybody would do that has a phone? I'm not saying they weren't involved, but you know what I mean? Like that.
It's up in the air right now, right?
Right. So I got no problem detaining them. But again, I'm just trying to detain those guys, find out what they know, who they are, whatever. I'm trying to get clear information to relay back to DC.
Bring control to the water tower.
We have one shooter deceased. I think we have 3 victims in the crowd. Is that you guys hearing that too?
That I'm not sure.
So I heard 1 deceased, 2 life flighted.
I know 2 helicopters are taken off.
Yeah. Okay.
So I don't know how many victims.
3 are deceased.
Delta 1, command. We have access to a drone. Clear this water tower.
Any LE?
I will try to confirm.
In the van. Did he survive? Copy.
So, like, completely shocking. Secret Service clearly didn't have any clue what was going on. Clearly, this is some guy in charge. He has a Secret Service pin and everything. Didn't have a freaking clue what was happening. Didn't know how many shooters there were. Didn't know how many people got shot. Didn't know who was, how many people were dead. But he did know that there was a sniper team that saw the assassin and presumably saw it from the rooftop. Again, I'll play this again. I'll play this till my dying day. This was where the snipers were supposed to be. This right here is where the snipers were supposed to be. Why didn't they shoot Thomas Crooks? I can show you video of Thomas Crooks walking on this rooftop, crawling across this rooftop, crawling right up there.
Come on, man. And then you call us conspiracy theorists? Like,
right?
Like, really? Like, come on, man. you say men can have babies. You say 2 + 2 = 5. We the one that are bad for thinking. Hey, it looks like an inside job. It looks like a stand down order. It looks like it was meant to happen. We are the bad guys. How are we the bad guys when we have videos in front of our faces telling us you didn't tell us the actual story and how it actually happened?
Exactly.
This is so obvious. As a matter of fact, even the opposite of that, the other snipers, they were saying there were trees in their way. Right there, the other snipers were on that roof.
And well, if you actually look at the overhead view, the ones that are closest on the closer roof, there are actually trees in the line of sight.
There were trees, okay. But
yeah.
he was
So on the farther roof, I think that because in those two, if you see there's 2 buildings there, I think that first tree there was in the way of the front ones.
Yeah.
I think both teams on both roofs of the buildings took shots at him, and I think it was the farther away team that actually hit him.
Wow.
And like if you line up the angles, that one tree right there, that to the, not that one, the one to the left of that one. Yeah, that one right there. I think that was in the way of the first team getting a shot off at him. And it's like, really? You're gonna sit there and tell me that
Wow.
this wasn't a setup?
Yeah, it certainly feels like it. It certainly
And
feels
you
like
didn't have drones in the air. You got people telling you that there's a guy on the roof. You got somebody in a window less than 50 feet away
Uh-huh.
seeing it, taking pictures, and sending it to everyone else.
Yeah. By the way, the person who said someone's on the roof, they had enough time to even post it on Twitter.
Yeah.
They're seeing it. They posted on Twitter before the guy took a shot. That was epic. That was crazy. Anyway, that's what JP was kind of making fun of. Have you heard about the guy in a gray suit? Have you heard about that guy?
No.
Oh, you did not. Listen, there he is. There was a guy in a gray suit going around questioning people. And he took pictures. There it is. Maria. Okay, I'm going to let you listen to it.
Local officers went up to that roof and started taking pictures of the dead body, of the shooter's body. So suddenly a guy in a gray suit walks up the ladder and goes up to the roof. And this guy in the gray suit, who didn't appear to have credentials, everybody assumed he was the Secret Service. So he tells one of the local law enforcement, send those pictures to this cell phone. And he gives him a number. And everybody assumed, oh, that must be Secret Service. It turns out it wasn't Secret Service.
Some guy in a suit walks up the ladder. They believed he was Secret Service. I'm not sure whether they gave credentials, but that's part of again, Maria, this is so preliminary. I'm issuing this. I'm providing this information, a much more detailed timeline to prompt others to come forward. We need to complete this picture. We have a lot of puzzle pieces to fill in here.
Is it odd to you that the locals were being told to send the pictures to the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Agency, ATF? Where does ATF come in?
It's very odd. It's the oddity starts with the fact that local law enforcement were just tasked with securing the perimeter, told to go cover that AGR building, not really told where to set up, so they set up on the second floor. They went to that AGR building at 10:30 in the morning. So they were stationed there well in advance. You know, they noticed this suspicious character at 5:10. They took a photo of him at 5:14. The president was shot at 6:11. You know, so again, an hour has passed. You know, again, they don't communicate. They didn't have communication, same channels with their law enforcement patrol officers. They weren't in communication with the Secret Service other than going through the Butler County Communication Center. So again, it's everything you would assume about Secret Service protection of a former.
Wow. That's interesting, isn't it?
So yeah.
Who is the guy?
Who is that guy?
Who is that guy? By the way, there's a video of the guy. There he is.
Looks like somebody from a news agency. Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. It looks like somebody from a news agency. I think you're on mute.
I'm sorry. Yeah, if that is true, they should be easily identify this guy then. There he is, right there. Gray suit, doesn't have a phone on him. Why don't you have a phone? You don't want to be tracked? You know how easy it is to track the person with these phones?
Right.
So why don't you even have a camera to take pictures? Strange.
And why wasn't everybody on the same radio frequency?
Yeah, why is that? There's a lot of potholes here, man. There's a lot of potholes to fill in.
Like, you can only have so many coincidences before it becomes a not coincidence. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Somebody said, I don't want to say it, but they will try to get Trump again. Jamie, you're right. I think who said it the other day? It was Alex Jones. I'm sure you did too. They're gonna. I did say they're pulling all the stops. Right, they're very desperate to win, and whoever wants Trump gone, it's not gonna stop right here. Alex Jones went really hard the other day. Talks about anyway. There's a way that he said it. I was watching this podcast. But he said there are several steps they're gonna take. Right, Trump has to look out for bombing. He mentioned that, and he went on to speak about a different way they're gonna go after him. But yeah, they're gonna do something massive, explosive kind of thing that is gonna be very difficult to to overlook it. So anyway, I'll find that video and I'll share it with you in a little bit. But yeah, that is scary. Yeah, that is scary. We gotta talk about the guy in the gray suit, somebody. So you want to finish this video, or are we just gonna move on to the next thing? Because we already
I
talked.
mean, if you want to finish the video, you can. I mean, there's some Marjorie Taylor Greene in there.
Yeah, but we got Marjorie Taylor Greene herself. So this guy video, we're not gonna do the whole thing. We're just gonna take a few segments of this. I think that was funny.
That building in particular has a sloped roof at its highest point. And so, there's a safety factor that would be considered there, that we wouldn't want to put somebody up on a sloped roof.
The roof is too slanted. The roof is too slanted. The roof is too slanted. We don't need to guard it, let the motherfucker climb, motherfucker, climb. Hello, my name is Kimberly Cheadle and I'm a dumb white chick. I'm the first female director of the U.S. Secret Service. I don't know if I'm that qualified, but I'm friends with the first lady. But now Trump got shot and it was on my watch, and an innocent fireman died. Yeah, this kid climbed on a rooftop plane to see with the naked eye. Lots of people saw him up there and alerted the cops nearby. Still the shooter fired his weapon, even striking Mr. Trump. And you might ask me why my security detail's in a slump. I said the roof is too slanted.
You get the message.
Oh man,
that's goofy. I love it.
It's great.
That was good.
Narrator dial alert downloading text recognition files.
What?
Black Israel paste Control plus V. Menu item.
I don't know what this thing is talking about.
Cap X has finished loading. To view keyboard shortcuts,
you gotta be
press
kidding.
question mark. Link.
All right, let me
view
stop
keyboard
this nonsense.
shortcuts. Live stream studio /evmux. Desktop con X. Google Chrome. Undo Control 20. Alex Jones on X. Video. Watch Alex Jones predict Trump assassination https:// affecting only on your end image, just recording. Logo of look and live destination.
Okay.
Banner X. Google Chrome. Look and pain. 20. Live stream
give me a second,
/evmux.
guys. I gotta turn this
Desktop
thing off.
content shared. Google Chrome. James Payne. Scan off. 583. How to turn. Space. Voice. Space. On. Toolbox button. 583. How to banner. Skip navigation. Button. Search. Space. Voice. Voice access. Space.
Oh no, the AI took over the stream.
Assassin. Assassin's Creed Mirage voice actors. See more search results. Press right to switch preview. Pain. Voice Assassin. 583. How to disable narrator voice assistant on Windows 10 text to speech. YouTube.
Hello everyone.
Audio
How are you
volume.
doing? This
Slider
is
at
MT Tech here with
25%
another quick
volume.
tutorial. Today I'm going to show you guys how to turn off voice assistant or turn it
X.
back on
Google
on
Chrome.
Windows 10.
Look and pain.
So in other words,
20.
this would be the narrator,
Alex Jones on
and
back
this should be a pretty
forward
quick
alt
tutorial,
create keep
and we're
trans
gonna jump
open
right
in
into
reading
it,
mode.
and we're gonna
Menu
start by
item
opening up the start
11
menu.
of 15.
So you just want to left click on the start button one time, and then there should be a gear icon on the left side here for most of you
Print
guys.
friendly
and
and
if you hover
PDF.
over it, it should say
Start
settings.
window. Search
If you cannot
window.
see this button,
Search
you can always
box.
just type in
Edit.
settings into
Search
the
for
start
apps.
menu,
Settings and
you can open it
documents.
that way. But I prefer just clicking on the settings icon on the left side that appears here.
search,
And now you want to go underneath the
search
ease of
settings,
access tile,
settings
and
window,
it says narrator,
search box,
magnifier, high
find a
contrast.
setting,
You want
edit,
to left click
find a
inside
set.
that
583, how to disable narrator voice, contains style. Click here to unmute
Yeah,
your
give me a
microphone.
second, guys. I'm working on
button.
this. This
Click
is
here to
this
mute
is
your
really
microphone.
annoying.
Button.
The voice thing just literally, I don't even know how to turn how I turn it on by accident, but I have to figure out a way to turn it off. That's what I'm working on. Okay, give me a second, please. This is ridiculous.
Click here to unmute your microphone. Button. Settings window. Search box. Find a setting. Edit.
The AI's
Find a
taking
setting.
over.
Space. Voice. Suggestions available. Suggestions.
It's the
Speech.
AI.
Voice access. Toggle switch. Off. Modern. Voice access pane. Contains style. Live stream studios. Settings window. Voice access. Toggle switch. On. Modern voice command feature to help you interact with your PC and dictate text. Voice access. Home. Warning icon, never lose access. Add a recovery email address to make sure you can always get into your account. Suggestions available. Suggestions. James Desvallon's Gospel Heralds 123 at Hot Voice Activation. Let apps
Suggestion
access
is go
voice activation
away.
services.
Go
Toggle
away.
switch on. Let apps access voice activation services. Toggle switch off. Menu. Show all settings. Always show full URLs. Menu item. Manage. Select all control. Manage search engines and scan. Heading level 1. Manage search engines and site search subpage back button. Contains style. Live stream studio /evmox. Desktop. Yes. Button. Click here
All
to
right, I'm
unmute
still
your
working on this.
microphone.
Okay, so in the meantime,
Button.
you can talk.
Click here to mute
Yeah,
your microphone.
I'm working
Button.
on it. So yeah, I mean, like, the thing we've come to realize is that, you know, there's been an epic failure on all levels. And in case anybody hasn't known, that the director of the Secret Service is actually the former head of security at PepsiCo. And a while ago, there was a tweet from somebody. I think it might have been Alex Stein. I'm not 100% certain. And it says, "Go back to guarding Doritos, you crazy white."
All right, I got it.
And yeah,
That
so
was
she was
really annoying.
Before
All
she
right,
became
so
the director.
let's continue.
Before she became the director of the
Man,
CIA,
it's
she was head of security
it's
for
wild,
Pepsi.
man. Here's Margie Taylor Greene. Boy, she's gonna go off, and she is questioning Kimberly Cheeto, who was the director of the Secret Service, but she's resigned. I mean, I would resign too after being questioned like that and had this
Took her long
massive
enough.
failure. Anyway, let's take a listen.
Ms. Cheadle, I'd like to remind you that you're under oath. The site team has a senior supervisor, an advanced team, a protective intelligence team, a counter sniper element, and detail. Who was the agent in charge? How long has she been the agent in charge? And what is her Secret Service background?
So I'm not going to provide a name.
Why not? You're here to answer our questions.
Forum. I'm not going to provide names of.
You stated in your testimony, you said, "I am here today to answer your questions."
That is correct.
Answer the question.
I'm not going to provide names of our personnel.
Why not?
Today.
The American people are demanding these answers from you today, Ms. Cheadle.
I will do the best to provide you accurate information based on the facts that I have at this time.
You're not answering our questions. The advance element coordinates with other intel or law enforcement partners, identifies threats and weaknesses at the sites and movements. We'd like a copy of the advance report. Have you brought it here with you today?
We will comply with the request for the documentation that has been requested.
When will that be, Ms. Cheadle? Because you should have brought it today.
I am certain that our personnel are working on obtaining all of that document.
I don't believe you, and neither do the people watching this hearing. You're not doing well, as Mr. Moskowitz informed you. You've been sitting here for over 3 hours, and I have you know the entire country is demanding you resign and demanding that you be fired if you do not resign. Things are not going well for you. You need to answer the questions. Was there a protective intelligence team, and what technical resources were utilized for that event, specifically drone or helicopter assets?
There were a number of technical assets that were deployed for that event, and there was a protective intelligence team that was assigned to that event.
Why was Crooks able to fly a drone over the entire area the day of the rally and the day of his assassination attempt?
To my knowledge, he did not fly the drone over the entire area.
How did he fly a drone over the area, period? Any part of the area?
Again, I would have to go back and check the timeline of when that took place and when the event...
Why didn't you bring the timeline with you today to answer our questions?
I don't have all of the answers on the timelines based on the criminal investigation.
Were you not prepared today to answer our questions?
I am prepared to answer the questions based on the information and wanted to be able to provide.
Do you have a timeline at all from any of the day?
I have a timeline that does not have specifics.
That's shocking. That is absolutely unacceptable. That means you are a failure at your job. Let's talk about things that are prohibited in Trump rallies. And I've been to a lot of Trump rallies. Backpacks and bags, bicycles, firearms, any type of weapon, or any other item determined to be a potential safety hazard, like a rangefinder would be one. At 5:10, Crooks is first observed by one of the snipers, AGR Sniper 1, at the building. 5:10, President Trump was shot in the face at 6:11 p.m. 5:28, AGR Sniper 1 takes a picture of a bicycle and 2 bags. Those belong to Crooks. 5:32, AGR Sniper 1 spots Crooks looking at his phone and using a rangefinder. 5:55, Butler ESU Command confirms receipt of photos and states they have been relayed on. 6:05 p.m., AGR Sniper 1 later communicates that Crooks is seen moving northeast in direction of Sheetz and that Crooks has a backpack. 2 minutes before the shooting, while President Trump has been allowed to take the stage, people see Crooks laying on his stomach in a sniper position on the roof, and they're yelling he has a gun, and they are trying to alert law enforcement and Secret Service. Why was Crooks not shot by the snipers? Why was he allowed to be there?
As soon as the individual was identified as a threat, they were...
No. What do you consider to be a threat? A man with a gun laying in a sniper position, a man that had a backpack, a man that had a bicycle, a man that had a rangefinder. At what point is he determined a threat?
An individual with a backpack is not a threat. An individual with a rangefinder is not a threat.
What about a man laying on a building that has direct line of sight of President Trump with a gun that people are screaming and pointing out? Is that a threat, Ms. Cheadle?
Once that individual was identified, they were neutralized.
No, they were neutralized. Crooks was neutralized after he shot President Trump in the face, Ms. Cheadle. Is he only a threat once he fires the weapon?
As soon as the counter sniper identified that individual, they were able to neutralize them.
How were people in the crowd? Okay, then let's just take it this way. People under your command did not consider him to be a threat, yet people in the crowd knew he had a gun and considered him to be a threat. That means that you are a complete failure as the director of the Secret Service, that people under your command don't perceive a man laying on a roof with direct line to the president with a gun. They don't perceive that to be a threat, yet the people in the crowd do. How is that possible?
That's the last question, but please answer the question, Ms. Director.
I'm not certain at this time how the information from the people in the crowd was relayed to any law enforcement personnel.
No, you knew that everyone knew. The people there knew that there was a danger. They knew there was a threat to President Trump, and it was allowed to happen. Was there a stand-down order, Ms. Cheadle? Was there a conspiracy to kill President Trump?
Absolutely not.
Then how did this happen? And why are you still sitting here not turning in your letter of resignation?
Last question, but please answer, and then I'll recognize Ms. Presley. Please answer that question. Director.
That is what we are investigating to determine.
We're waiting for your letter. We're waiting for your letter of resignation. And you really need to consider doing that before you leave today.
Thank you. Chair.
Oof. That was that was terrible to listen to. I mean, she has nothing for us.
I'm sorry.
Kimberly Cheeto has nothing. I think are you muted? You're probably not anymore. You know, this is what I found out, Darth Vader. Let me know when you're ready to speak.
I was muted.
I did a little bit of research on drones.
I got a little button on
this
my
this is what most people don't even know. They are what is known as no drones zone. That depends on let me bring this back to the screen here. Let's do this big. So there are laws in regard to flying drones done by the FAA, Federal Aviation Administration. Mm-hmm. There's what is known as no drone zones. You cannot fly your drones whenever and wherever you want. This is actually something you need to know. When you get a drones, you have to download. You have to download and update it so that you get a map where the drone in itself, if you try to fly it in a no-fly zone, it will not fly. Mm-hmm. It literally stops flying. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Try to unmute yourself and see if you can talk, because I'm not hearing much from you.
Can you hear me now?
But here is the no-fly zone. According to the FAA, it speaks about no drone zone areas. So restricted airspace, local restriction. And I want to tell you about another area where you cannot have no drones area. This could be, for example, this is what is called no drone zone to identify an area where there is a TFR. What is that? Example, major sporting events, space launch, re-entry operation, presidential movements.
Go figure.
Presidential movements or in security-sensitive areas designated by federal agencies. Weren't the area designated by federal agencies months in advance that the president was going to be in that area? Shouldn't that be part of the no-fly zone area that the drone should not even be allowed to fly?
That you would think. One would think.
What kind of drone was he flying? Was it a new model? Because all the new models have to be updated, if you know anything about that, so that it can go along with the no-fly zone area. Or was he using a really old, we're talking about 2001 model, that these ones, I think they probably don't have the new systems in them. But
can you hear me?
This is what I found out. That's very interesting. So the fact that he wasn't even allowed to fly in a no-fly zone area where the presidential movements is actually happening, there goes another mistake. So I think Tim Cass is going to set it best. Darth Vader, you come back whenever you're ready. I think you're having some connection issues here. Here is Tim Cass here. Listen to what he had to say.
The Wall Street Journal is reporting the Trump gunman flew a drone over the rally site hours before the attempted assassination. I'm going to pause right now and just say that's impossible. That is impossible. I don't know. Modern drones won't even fly in secure zones. I don't know how this is possible. If you buy a modern consumer-grade drone and you turn it on, it will tell you before you can fly it, you have to download the map, which tells you where you can and cannot fly. It tracks no-fly zones, FAA rules and regulations. After you download it, if you were anywhere near anything like this, it says cannot take off. Now, it's possible He had a really old drone from 10 years ago or something that he was flying. But this makes literally no sense outside of the technological hurdles. They allowed a drone to fly overhead and they didn't do anything about it. Okay, that's it. I don't see how anyone at any point could say anything other than inside job. Hands down, look, in 2011 at Occupy, I'm flying one of the first commercial grade drones and we hacked it to live broadcast using the software development kit. We pulled the data from the device while it's in the air and sent it to a laptop computer and then captured the video feed and broadcast it on the internet. For this, we ended up getting a bunch of attention. I ended up actually consulting with the university and the government on drone regulations and rules. And this is impossible. They let someone fly a drone. Let me tell you why it's impossible. The reason why we have the restrictions on drones, look at what's going on in Ukraine. They strap a very small explosive to a drone. The idea that they would allow a drone to fly anywhere near a presidential rally without putting in any kind of override is impossible. They let this happen. I don't get it. The Wall Street.
That's correct. That's correct. This is what most people don't know. You can't just fly a zone in an area that is protected, especially where the president is. And when the area is being designated by the Secret Service, it becomes a no-fly zone area. So the drone won't even go there. It's not even allowed to fly. But Thomas Crook Jones was allowed to fly there. Interesting. Okay. Anyway, a lot more could be said. Something's just not feeling right. Doesn't feel good. Anyway, Lord Vader, we need to have you back.
Can you hear me? Check.
I think you're having some connection issues. Okay, you back, but you speaking, you gotta check your mic. You speaking, you bleeping, but you're not. The sound is not coming through. This clip tells you everything you need to know. Liberal have mine. All right, let's keep going. We're 2 hours in. We still got 18 people watching. Thank you for those of you who still hanging out with us. We tend to do those live stream every other Thursday. Make sure you like and subscribe to the page. A little commercial break here. Make sure you click the bell icon for more. Check out our links. We also have the merch. Make sure you support us that way as well. Thank you for all of you who are standing with us. All right, let's take a listen. Make sure you also subscribe to the Heart of the Matter channel as well. The Darth Vader's channel, Heart of the Matter. The Heart of Darth Vader. Okay, let's take a listen.
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. You know, they're all talking about political violence, they're all condemning political violence, and of course at the same time they're attacking conservatives for using this situation to attack the left or attack journalists. Do they not realize the obvious glaring issue? Well, where does that issue lie exactly? It lies in the backdrop, because as these Democrats and Democrat talking heads are saying all this nonsense, the actual core of their political party, well, they're continuing the violent rhetoric tirade. Kinda hard to make the argument that violent left-wing rhetoric doesn't actually exist. What incitement to violence? When literally everybody behind you is calling for violence or glorifying violence. And so let's put that into perspective. Let's continue to shine the light on who these people truly are. We've got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so we're starting off with a Biden campaign surrogate. As we've been covering over the last couple of weeks, Joe Biden is incapable of campaigning by himself, and so he's been sending his surrogates. And obviously that's Jill Biden and various celebrities. He sent Robert De Niro during an official Biden campaign event outside the Manhattan courthouse where Donald Trump was hit with a 34-count guilty verdict.
Under Trump, this kind of government will perish from the earth. I don't mean to scare you. No, wait, maybe I do mean to scare you. If Trump returns to the White House, you can kiss these freedoms goodbye that we all take for granted. And elections, forget about it. That's over. That's done. If he gets in, I can tell you right now, he will never leave. He will never leave. You know that. He will never leave.
And then the week later, they employed another celebrity, Mr. Jack Black.
There wasn't much they could say after that, and when the president wins in November, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get a sweet shout out in his victory speech for what I gave up to be here. Because when democracy is at stake, Jack Black answers the call.
Jack Black is part of the Biden campaign. I just wanted to lay that context out because I think that's really important here. Joe Biden's talking about decency and bringing down the rhetoric, but his campaign surrogate, Jack Black, and his Tenacious D band member, well, it seems they have different plans.
Don't miss Trump next time.
Joe Biden's talking about decency, and his supporters and even his directly connected campaigners are openly calling for violence. And that's a really important thing, because Democrats keep pretending like this is a both sides issue. All the talking heads are trying to make that point. George Stephanopoulos just said this.
You are going to hear conspiracy theories going forward.
No question about that. But as you point out those statements from J.D. Vance and Vivek Ramaswamy, of course, President Trump and his supporters have contributed to this violent rhetoric.
President Trump and his supporters have contributed to this violence. Okay, Remalaka Georgie, let's go with that. Violent rhetoric from all those Trump supporters. Again, I'm stuck here looking like John Travolta, confused and looking around. What violent rhetoric? Don't you find it funny how these clowns in the media can just get away with these outlandish claims? Trump supporters and their violent rhetoric. Where are the examples? When you make a claim like that, you should be showing all of the examples, right? Nope, it's the typical double standard. Leftists don't have to actually justify their arguments or their talking points. They speak them into existence, they say them, and they're automatically true because Malaka George said it. How ridiculous. Again, I stand here and I challenge any leftist to make a counter video to mine. I mean, please expose me. Liberal hive mind exposed. Show me all this violent MAGA rhetoric. And again, that challenge will go unanswered as it usually does because there's simply no evidence of it. Find a single example of a Trump supporter randomly assaulting a Biden supporter for simply wearing a Biden hat or shirt. Doesn't happen. Find an example of violent right-wingers rioting, destroying things. People, of course, are going to say January 6th, but even if we give you that, even if we concede the point, you have one example? That's it? One example of a protest that got a little bit out of order, that's all your evidence. The fact of the matter is that there is simply no pattern. There's no widespread pattern of behavior that can be tracked from day one all the way to present. But when talking about the left, it's constant violent rhetoric. It's not the same thing. It's a false equivalency. It's a distraction. It's a partisan bull you-know-what talking point. Coming from people who are supposed to be neutral journalists, just giving you the facts. When you make a statement without providing the facts, you are not a journalist providing the facts, you are a paid propagandist, you are a biased DNC operative, and that's exactly what these Democrats are desperately doing. They want to hide the truth. They want to tell you it's not happening, while Jack and his buddy on stage are essentially calling for a second attempt, and that's what's happening. That's what we're seeing everywhere. You know, again, it's all about optics. Democrats are telling us that it's a both sides issue. You can't point the finger at us. Meanwhile, this is what's happening on social media.
Well, it's a shame the person missed.
But you had one job and you missed.
How the did you miss? I hope your parents are super disappointed in you.
I went through all of that trouble. I wouldn't miss. I would finish the job.
We're not even sending our best to assassinate. Because what the hell was that? Lee Harvey Oswald would never.
Today was like this close to being the best day ever.
There was an attempt made. So close.
It's so ridiculous. You know, it almost feels as if we caught them red-handed in the act. They're stealing the candy bar and they're simply throwing it in the distance and saying, "What do you mean? I didn't take a candy bar." But we can clearly see all kinds of candy popping out of their back pockets. We see it. It's there. What do you mean it's not happening? It never happened and actually it's us. What kind of ridiculous argument is that? And the funny thing is that leftoids are pretending as if they have deniability. You know, well, you can't extrapolate that our rhetoric led to this. It's not like we called for it outright. We just called him a fascist and a threat to democracy 24/7, 365, 8 years straight. You can't possibly make that leap. And to a certain extent, yeah, that's kind of true. But also at the same time, the threats haven't only been implemented implicit, they've also been explicit. We remember back in 2016, all the things that were said. We remember Kathy Griffin, Snoop Dogg, Madonna, and the rest of these celebrities issuing straight up threats of violence. We've seen the influencers, the staffers do the same thing. I mean, for Pete's sakes, how many Democrat staffers have lost their jobs because they said something truly vile or violent targeting Trump supporters or the former president himself? So many, countless amount of times. In fact, it happened just yesterday to one of Benny Thompson's staffers. And again, find a single example of a right-winger or a Republican staffer engaging in the same kind of behavior. I don't think you'll be able to find it. You might be able to find an example, but we're not talking about one isolated incident. We're talking about a long trend. Democrats have explicitly called for violence. In fact, they've explicitly called for the assassination of Donald Trump, whether it's top politicians.
And the donor class can't just sit back on the sidelines and say, oh, well, don't worry, this will all work itself out. They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump. And that's a fact. And
they've said it explicitly, and of course, they've visualized it quite explicitly as well. We all remember that theatrical performance that occurred in New York City's Central Park, where they conducted a play with the infamous assassination of Julius Caesar from back in ancient Rome in the Senate, except they modernized it, replacing Julius Caesar with then President Trump.
It's an actor dressed to look just like President Donald Trump as he's assassinated on stage. Look as his character is stabbed to death.
And that play, by the way, was protested by Jack Posobiec and Laura Loomer.
Freedom!
Stop the normalization of political violence against the right. This is unacceptable. You cannot...
Get off the stage!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to pause. We're going to pause. Security.
You are all Goebbels! You are all Nazis like Joseph Goebbels! This is Goebbels! You are all Goebbels! You are inciting terrorists! The blood is
Wow, this is epic. I didn't realize there was this much evidence in this video. But it's nothing new. The left has been the one calling for political violence, you know. I've heard the argument made, right? If you could go back to unalive baby Hitler, would you have done it? And over 80% of people says, yes, I would have done it. Knowing that maybe Hitler is eventually going to grow up to be the Hitler that we knew and eventually annihilate 6 million something Jews. Would you have prevented that from happening if you knew that he had the ability, he was going to have the ability to do what he did? The answer was yes. So if the media is calling Trump all kind of names, one in particular is that he is Hitler. Right? He is so wicked and so sinful and so wretched, right? If that is the case, then it's only fair to say somebody needs to get rid of this Hitler guy. Even though we have zero record of him having assassinated anybody or plotted anybody's death, or we have no record of it. But if you're calling him Hitler 24 hours, 24/7, well, you might as well kind of live it out. You know what I'm saying? So in a sense, that's kind of what's going on here. For as scary as it is, that's what's happening here. You know, so side note.
inciting terrorists! The blood of Steve Scalise is on your hands! The blood of Steve Scalise is on your hands! Goebbels would be proud!
Again, right-wingers on the right side of history, saying this is horrible. This is a clear call to violence. This is a ratcheting up of extremist rhetoric. This is unacceptable. And what ended up happening? They got carried off stage and booed. They're the crazy people, right? They're the nutcases. Again, the same thing I always say in all these videos. Give me a frickin' break. The facts here are clear. And if the left had the facts to be making this both sides argument, well then George Stephanopoulos would have likely presented them. But obviously they can't, because the truth is, the left has become increasingly violent and extreme over the years. The Democrat establishment and the media has denied this. They pretend as if it isn't true. They have not done the requisite work required to counter the extremism in their own party, and now they're desperately trying to rewrite history. But we won't forget, it's fresh in our minds. We know exactly what you guys have been saying for the last 8 years, and obviously it's a major factor contributing to the increase of extremism and domestic terrorism, specifically that we've seen coming from the left as of late. We've seen violent riots, homicides, assassination attempts, mass shootings. We've seen it all, so spare me the BS.
Great video. Darth Vader, I don't know what's going on with your connection. I wish you could come back. Well, I'll tell you, man. This is true. This is true and also scary. What's happening in our society right now, guys? And we're gonna bring this live stream to an end because I have something scheduled. I gotta get to my children. But here's the thing: in Matthew 24, verse 10, verse 12, the Bible says, "Because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold." That's what we are told. Listen, people have become cold today. If you look at this, right, on case by case, the assassination attempt on a former president who might be soon our next president, it's not good for your country. It's just not a good thing. As a matter of fact, it never works to the benefit of a country when a president has been assassinated. What tends to happen, it creates greater divisions, and eventually the country gets, the political tension gets worse, and it sometimes can boil into a civil war if you're not careful with this stuff. So for the left to think this is a good thing because they hate Trump so much because of what the media has told them, and some of them just, people who hate, they just hate people. I hate to use the word over and over again, but the truth is, that's just what it is. This is why we are in this mess, friends. This is why we are in this mess. So, and that's the scary reality. Are you guys able to hear the video okay? Is everything coming through okay? I'm just making sure affected only on your end. So I just want to make sure everything is coming through all right. So that's what's going on here. So the love of many is waxing cold. Yeah, these are some evil people, Jamie, and that's just what it is. Darth Vader is having some connection issues. As soon as he comes back, I'll get him back on the channel. Okay, so that's kind of why I haven't been able to see him here. So that's what's happening. There's some serious coldness in the hearts of men today. If you think that, the left is celebrating Trump's assassination attempt as a positive thing, you are out of your mind. So I want to move on to quickly talk about Elon Musk. We did have a few things on our list that we might not be able to get to. I wanted to get to the video by. We're gonna have to skip a number of things here, but Darth Vader is missing, so we're definitely gonna have to have a part 2 to this live stream. There were a few, like 5 more videos to get to, but it's been 2.5 hours, and I think
My fellow Americans,
it's only fair to give you guys a break.
tonight from behind the Resolute desk in the Oval Office. In this sacred space.
You don't wanna see this. You probably already saw it, but it's nothing impressive. Nothing impressive, to be honest with you. So, oh, there he is. Welcome back, soldier.
Can you hear me?
Oh yes, man.
Okay.
I just got done watching that video by Liberal Have Mind with the left calling for violence against the right. It's crazy. I didn't realize he had that much evidence in here.
Oh yeah, yeah. And because of what was said on stage there in Australia, the guy in yellow, his talent agency dropped him.
You're serious?
Yeah, and that's why they canceled their tour. Like,
oh wow.
Yeah, they canceled their tour because of that.
So they literally called for that.
That was a direct call to action.
Let me hear that again. I want to hear that again.
And if you know, free speech does have its limits. That in and of itself is actually illegal.
Yeah. That's the kind of speech that needs to be banned. Okay.
Black and his Tenacious D band member, well, it seems they have different plans.
Don't miss Trump next time.
Joe Biden's talking about decency, and his supporters and even his directly connected campaigners are openly calling.
Wow.
See, that's like a direct call.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
yeah. That's
like
crazy.
His TDS is so bad.
You know, the left don't have a moral high ground. I don't think they ever had any, but as after stuff like this, they don't have a moral high ground to argue anything anymore. Yeah, they don't have it. It's over. You know, they can't argue at January 6th. They can't talk about Donald Trump and who he slept with. They have nothing.
No.
They can simply now go sit in a corner because they've exposed their true nature after this one.
It's like a little kid. It's like, go sit down and shut up.
Yeah. Yeah. You have nothing. Yeah.
And like the worst offender of all of them is Destiny.
Oh, he is redunculous, man.
The things he said and the things he's done are absolutely absurd.
It's appalling. I do have a video of the guy. Wish I didn't. But Destiny is sick. There he is. Oh gosh. I'm sorry, guys, for torturing you, but with this guy, he is insufferable.
Especially when he was on Piers Morgan. That was the worst.
That's the one. That's the one I got right here.
Yeah, but you are
Destiny,
let me explain to you.
Where conservatives can say anything.
No, I'm not a conservative.
They can have any conspiracy theory.
I'm not a conservative.
They can have any plot. They can do anything, and then liberals are supposed to sit here and be like, "Oh my God, it's so tragic."
No, Destiny.
Absolutely not.
Let me explain.
Absolutely.
Let me explain my position because I'm not a conservative. I'm not on either side in your race, right? Here's what I think about what you did. You'd like to fire off, as you've done so far in this debate, about your fury at how disgusting Republicans are, how inhumane they are, how they never have any empathy, blah, 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 blah. And then you yourself actually are exactly the person that you're describing. You are inhuman. You are somebody who seems almost gleeful that a young firefighter with a family, with a wife and children, who he was protecting as he was shot dead, that he deserved what was coming to him because he went to a President Trump rally, a man who was president of the United States until recently for 4 years and maybe again. You sound almost gleeful, Destin, and I'm sorry, that makes you, frankly, despicable.
I don't think I'm gleeful about anything. I don't think anybody should die. I don't think anybody deserves to die. But you want to talk about gleeful? Look at the conservative response to Pelosi's husband when they broke in.
I can answer that.
Mainstream media figures
I can answer that.
I don't care.
I can answer that.
With all due respect, I don't care what your answer is.
Let me answer that.
The reality is that conservatives have been turning the temperature up on the rhetoric. They have been making fun of these types of events for years, and now when something happens to them, now they're looking for sympathy from the liberal side. Absolutely not. It's insane. It's unhinged that you can conduct yourself in such a manner and expect people to feel sorry when things happen.
Why should anybody on the right listen to a word of your hectoring and lecturing about how they should behave? And by the way, for the record, the mockery of Nancy Pelosi's husband when he was attacked by an intruder with a hammer was also despicable, right? I can see despicable behavior on all sides, and I'm happy to call it out when I see it. You, however, want to present yourself as this great kind of standard bearer of decency, who sees outrageous behavior on the right time and again and is incensed by this disgusting, inhumane behavior. And yet time and again, since the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, you have displayed exactly the same kind of inhumane behavior. Fuck him about a fireman who is killed because he attends a rally of a guy he wants to vote for.
My issue with the MAGA kids is not that they are not empathetic. My issue is that they support a president that led an insurrection against the United States. I'm not here to tone police over their empathy.
80 million people voted for Donald Trump last time around.
That's great. 80 million people voted for a guy that tried to insurrect the government, and it looks like they might try to do it again. I mean, like, I don't know what you want me to say. These are the facts on the ground. The idea that
you don't like attacks on democracy. So presumably you would unreservedly condemn the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, because that's one of the most egregious attacks on American democracy of modern times. Presumably,
I don't think that
you will
anybody
take
should
this
be
opportunity,
trying to-
given you
I
are
don't
so
think anybody-
determined to protect the integrity of democracy, you would find it absolutely outrageous that someone has tried to assassinate a president, right?
if the other conservatives on this show want to say that it was absolutely outrageous
No, I'm
that Donald
asking
Trump
you.
attempted to coup the government,
I'm asking you.
then I would. Yeah, no, I'm not going to get on my knees and beg for forgiveness or show sympathy to conservatives.
I'm not asking for that. I'm asking you to condemn what happened as an egregious attack on democracy. Can you do that?
No, I won't. No, I won't.
You can't do that. You see, so why the hell, frankly, Destiny,
absolutely not.
why the hell should we listen to a word you have to say
Wait,
about...
hold on. Why do you think conservatives haven't been listening to a word that liberals have said about anything for 8 years?
Right,
what do you
but
think is
why
going to
should
change?
they?
You think
But
if
here's my
liberals
point,
come out now
Destiny.
and they go, "Oh my God, this was so horrible,"
But here's
they're
my
going to go,
point.
"Wow, that is true." Maybe
Wait a
that
second.
should also like
Charlie,
Charlie,
I'll bring you in at the end of this. I promise you, and you'll get a good chance to respond. But here's my problem, Destiny, with your whole position on this, right? Is that you don't actually have anything inside you that you want the other side to have. You don't have any of the empathy. You don't have any sympathy. You don't care that someone tried to assassinate Donald Trump. You don't care that a young fireman with a family was killed in the process. You don't actually. You are not the person you want these other people to be. And all you do is play whataboutery with every question I give you. And I'm just startled.
It's not what about it? We're talking about Donald Trump. We're talking about the temperature of this country. But here's a question for the two panelists. What percentage of this event happening was due to Donald Trump's rhetoric? What do they think the answer to that question is?
What percentage could it be that the other side, as we've just heard from Dave Rubin, has spent 8 years calling Donald Trump the new Adolf Hitler, a person who was responsible for the murder of 12 million people, including 6 million Jewish people in a Holocaust. Last time I checked, Donald Trump hasn't murdered 12 million people. So much as you would like him to be the new Hitler, he's not. But again, to an impressionable young deranged mind who has easy access to guns, that can be easily interpreted as an existential threat, said President Biden. Somebody that needs to be put in the bullseye, said Biden.
Okay,
only last week. And guess what? Somebody then comes forward and tries to kill the existential threat.
Oh, this was the worst thing to listen to, boy. This guy is sick. I have nothing else to add, but he's a sick.
This dude is completely unhinged. Like he's lost his wife because he allowed her to sleep with other men.
I heard about that.
Like he has nothing left, and a man who has nothing left is more dangerous than anything.
Yeah.
And what if you actually go if y'all actually go back and watch the entire show of Piers Morgan with that, you'll actually see what he said about the firefighter who sacrificed himself for his family, and it is truly appalling. He actually did laugh at the firefighter. And it just churned my stomach when he did that. And it's like,
yeah, I heard it. It was terrible. I'll find it. I'm
because
hate you. Don't
that guy.
You go, yeah, I do grade him on a curve, and I do accept that he probably tried to insurrect the government. But you know, I think that the guardrail.
He hangs so hard on January 6th. It's like, you know what? Go back, listen to what happened. He wasn't trying to insurrect anything.
That's what somebody said.
He told people to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard. Number one. Then he turned around and told people to go home. People were let into the building and escorted around. It was more like a freaking tour of the Capitol building. There was no insurrection.
Wow.
Like,
you could tell they haven't done any research apart from what the mainstream media tell them to believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your brain on mainstream media.
Yep, that's what it looks like. Yep. Well.
But yeah, like if you see what he actually said about the firefighter, it's
appalling.
Truly horrendous and appalling.
Yeah, I'll add it to the video. I couldn't find it. Let me see. I might be able to find it. Yeah, it's despicable. Oh, there he is. I found that guy. Oh, gosh. All right, this is what he said.
Fuck it. Fuck the dude, the firefighter guy. Fuck Trump. Fuck the people that support him. I just want you to know, okay? Just in case you're confused or it seems like I'm, you don't, whatever. If one of you were in the crowd and you're a conservative fan of mine and you end up, getting blown away or whatever the fuck, I'm making fun of you the next day on Twitter. Fuck it. Fuck the dude, the fire.
Sorry about the language, by the way, but this guy, man, if there was anybody who needed to be canceled, this should be him. This is the guy that should be canceled. When we're talking about free speech and hate speech, this is it. This is what it looks like. Anyway, I have Elon Musk here. For those of you who don't know, Elon Musk had a son who became trans, I think, and eventually I think he died. He's blaming the left, and this is one of the reasons why he is now a Republican. He supports Donald Trump. He is blaming the woke mind virus. That's what he referred to it as. And I want to share a few thoughts on that. And I think we're going to make this our last video. I know we had a lot more on our list. We might have to save the rest. We have at least 6 more videos to get through, but we're going to have to save the rest. Take a listen to this.
Why are you willing to make this an issue? Do you think?
Well,
it's sort of like the nameless issue.
It happened to one of my older boys, where I was essentially tricked into signing documents for one of my older boys, Xavier. This is before I had really any understanding of what was going on, and we had COVID going on, and so there was a lot of confusion. I was told, Xavier might commit suicide if he.
That was a lie right from the outset. No reliable clinician ever believed that. There was never any evidence for that. And also, if there's a higher suicide rate, the reason is because of the underlying depression and anxiety, and not because of the gender dysphoria. And every goddamn clinician knows that too. And they're too cowardly to come out and say it. Right? And so and then we end up in exactly, when I saw that lie start to propagate, it just made the hair on the back of my neck stand up. It's like, I see. So you're telling parents that unless they agree to this radical transformation, that their children are going to die, and you think that's moral, and you think that's true. That is so pathological that it's almost incomprehensible. I can't imagine anything worse. I can't imagine a therapist doing anything worse than that, or sitting by idly and remaining silent while his colleagues are doing it. It's pathetic.
It's incredibly evil, and I agree with you that people that have been promoting this should go to prison.
It won't stop till that happens.
Yeah.
It'll just go underground. Puberty blockers are being accessed online by kids all the time through non-medical channels. So yeah, It's not going to stop. Yeah. Okay, so I see. So that's.
So I was tricked into doing this, it wasn't explained to me that puberty blockers are actually just sterilization drugs. Anyway, and so I lost my son essentially. They call it dead naming for a reason.
Yeah.
All right. So the reason it's called dead naming is because your son is dead. So my son Xavier is dead, killed by the woke mind virus.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what that would be like.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and there's lots of people in that situation now.
Right.
It's not pretty, and lots of demolished kids.
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's a good reason to be the final straw. All right, so let's.
So I vowed to destroy the woke mind virus after that.
He said, I vowed to destroy the woke mind virus after that. That's why he bought Twitter.
That's good readings than any.
Yeah.
I mean, you turn around and find out that the world's largest public forum is up for sale.
Mm-hmm. Take it. And free speech. And by the way, 80% of what we've shared with you today is from Twitter. And the rest, well, is X now to get it right. And the rest of it was from YouTube. Thank God for free speech on Twitter. On X. Let me get it correct. Here is the thing that's even more disturbing about this, right? California passed this law, which was about, was it a week ago? Listen, this law gives them kind of say you don't have to tell parents for transitioning the children.
Pretty much carte blanche.
Say it again.
It's pretty much carte blanche.
Carte blanche.
Yeah.
Wow.
It basically means free pass and clear to do whatever they want. Carte blanche.
Okay. I never heard that before. All right. Listen.
Newsom has signed a bill that would ban school districts from notifying parents about a student's gender identity. That means school districts will have to remove policies that require parents to be informed if their child identifies as transgender. The passage of the bill comes after several districts across the state put similar notification policies in place without the student's consent. Staff can no longer be forced to disclose a student's sexual orientation, gender identity, or gender expression.
Wow. So California passed is first state to bar school district from requiring staff to notify parents of gender changes. So if they want to transition your kids, you won't know a thing about it. Not until it is done. I've heard cases that some of the kids go to school and while they're in school, they put on bra and girls' clothes and everything while in the school. In some cases, surgeries are performed without the parents' consent. That is extreme. So I can understand why Elon Musk is definitely upset. Definitely upset. They say this law keeps children safe from protecting the critical role of parents. Yo, this is so evil. They're keeping children safe from their own family members. Brother Richard, a spokesman for Newsom, of course, said in a statement, it protects the child-parent relationship by preventing politicians and staff members from inappropriately intervening in a family matter. And that's exactly what they do in attempting to control it if, when, how the family have deeply personal conversation.
It's none of the state's business getting involved in family affairs.
You need to leave my family alone. That's
stay out of it.
Stay out of there. Get out of my house.
Yeah.
And then you're talking about I'm here to protect you. I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
I was just about to say, what did Ronald Reagan say? I'm from the 5 deadliest words, or I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
I'm here to help. Yeah. Wow. So the new law, after several school districts in California passed policies requiring that parents be notified if a child requests to change their gender identification. That led to pushback by Democrat state officials who say students have a right to privacy. I mean, these Democrats, they are out of control.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we can obviously tell which side is trying to help the American people and which side is trying to tear down the country.
It's very obvious. There's no confusion here. So my son is confused. He goes to a school. You said, "Oh, come over here. Let's help you out with your confusion. You want to cut off your pee-pee? You want to cut off your breast? You want to do that? What if my father is a Christian? He's a minister. If I tell my dad is going to pray over me, and eventually try to fix me and trying to help me to understand what my mental, my psychology. He's not trying to meet that. Oh well, we can't tell your dad." Because you have a right to privacy, so don't tell your parents.
I mean, even with homeschooling, you still have to be careful because it's not just homeschooling. You also got to watch out for the social media.
Yeah,
they get them through social media too.
Yeah, and you got to, by the way, have the discussion early. My son, my 13-year-old, finally got a phone when he turned 13 last year. Me and him talk about stuff like this. So he's like ahead of the conversation. A lot of these kids, their parents haven't had the conversation. Like if you have the conversation with the kids and you tell them what's really going on the social media space and be part of their social media world. I'm not telling you to take away phones from your children. I'm just saying if they have a social media account, you need to be their friends. If they have a TikTok account, you need to be their friends. And you need to be in their conversation. You need to be talking to them about what to do, what information is out there, and how to filter through it. If you do that, you have a chance of keeping your kids safe.
And you have to be on their level.
You have to be, you have to be on their level. As a matter of fact, my kids love playing Roblox. I'm like, I'm getting a Roblox account. I got a Roblox account. And I tell you what, Darth Vader, I've been enjoying myself a little bit too much on that Roblox. I think I'm like, yo, I leveled up. I was playing a gunfight arena. I was like, man, Pastor James had 80 something kills. I'm like, Lord, that's not even right. That's not even good.
I'm having too much fun with this.
Oh yeah, they consistently on this Roblox thing. I'm like, I'm joining you. So I sat next to them and I got my Roblox account and I joined into the game. He's like, Jay, Daddy, he's over here. Daddy's like, but it's not just the fighting stuff, but there's like stuff you can do that's really actually fun. You can have fun with it without getting too deep. I think the time we waste is the one that's troubling. But I tell you what, I was sitting there just listening to what they're playing and getting into that world. I'm like, okay, see if I can't overcome you, I'm gonna join you.
See, that's the thing, Amy. You think there's no social media accounts.
Oh, they do.
They find a way.
Oh, they do. They do. My son had a TikTok. I didn't even know he had TikTok until the school called me and said there was a picture that was on his TikTok account that I need to check. I didn't even know. I'm like, when did you get a TikTok account? He's like, yeah, all my friends have TikTok. I'm like, oh, wow. And he didn't even have a phone. So, so I'm just letting you know, it's a lot more is happening. So you want to be in their world. Be in their world.
To give you a heads up, you know, like you think there's no social media accounts.
Mm-hmm.
They'll find a way if they really want to.
Yeah, they will. And here's the thing. You see those things we discuss on our channel? Discuss them with your kids. Like, if you know something is going on in the world, have the conversation. I just had a conversation with my son earlier today. We were at the gym. We were talking about the Donald Trump videos. We were talking about that. I said, this is what's going on. He's like, wow, that's crazy. And then we had other videos where we were talking about that video right there we're doing right now with Elon Musk. Me and him had a conversation in the car about that. He said, yo, his opinion was strong. Like, why would you do that to your children? Like, you gotta have the conversation with those kids and help them to think through these issues. If you don't get to them early enough, some lady in the church will say this: if you don't teach your kid, the devil will. It's just the way it is. You either teach them, don't leave them in their innocence, especially when they're at the age when they can understand these conversations. Have the conversation beforehand. Like, if you don't teach them about sex, somebody else will teach them the wrong version of it. If you don't teach them about sexuality, you don't teach them about God, somebody else will tell them how not to love the Lord. Like, you either tell them the truth early or let somebody else do the preaching. And if you don't do the preaching, somebody else is already doing it. I'm telling you, they are being overwhelmed with information out there. So have the conversation with them, spend quality time with them, and let them know what's going on. Don't overwhelm them with some of this stuff. I don't. But when we have the conversation, I check out this video. What do you think about this? Hey, da, 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 da. And we start talking. And then at the end, we ended up with prayer and a Bible study, because they need to know what's going on. Like, I talk about like people online who are trying to like appeal to little boys. He is way ahead of the game. He's like, oh yeah, we know about these, these pedos. Like, he point out people to me. He said, this is a pedo. This is a pedo. Like, he pointed them out. I'm like, wow. He said, yeah, there's a bunch of them. And he said, me and my friends are already talking. We know who these people are. And we're telling each other, like, yo, stay away from this guy. Stay away from this guy. Like, I'm like, wow. So be on top of that. So the teacher is not in any way stopped from picking up the phone and talking to the parents about it. All this law does is to stop school board from forcing teachers to always call their parents. That's exactly the problem. I worked in a nursing home for years, right? And if one of your family members fall, it doesn't matter what time of the day they fall. Mm-hmm. It is required by law to call the family member 5 o'clock in the morning. I work third shift. 2 o'clock in the morning, you gotta call the family member and report it as a nurse. You have to report so and so fell. This is the injury. This is the time when they fell. This is who found the individual. And we are doing an investigation. We wanted to put this on record and give you a phone call. A voicemail has to be left if they don't answer. It is required by law.
Yeah, I worked for 5 years in with mentally deficient people, and same thing. You know, if something happened where they fell and got injured and had to go to the hospital, or they got sick and had to go to the hospital, anything like that, we had to call a family member, inform them, unless their profile said otherwise. Like this is just standard operating procedure for anybody in the healthcare field. They know that's what you do. You're basically what's known as a mandatory
reporter. In a
reporter. So this flies in the face of that.
Yeah. This is anti everything we used to do. This right here tells you the state of your world. This right here is like a sign of the time and just immorality on display. That's what's in the laws. Now, there was a pushback against Jacob Hubert, Liberty Justice Center president. Listen to what he said. School districts should be allowed to have policies where they disclose vital information to parents. If they have policies to notify them, just like you just said, if a child is bullied, if a child attempts suicide, to notify them about their children's grade. So if you have policies to report these things, so if my son is confused about their sexuality with all the craziness going on in our society today, there should be a policy that bans you from telling. That doesn't, well, let me get it right. That doesn't force you to tell me about that. So you can, because of the privacy of the child, he wants to cut off his pee-pee. There's no privacy. He wants to get breast done. He wants a phalloplasty. He wants to get a vagina. He thinks he's a woman. That kid needs prayer. That kid needs help. He needs somebody to talk to him and wheel them out that confusion, because it's not true. It cannot be done. It's an impossibility. But the Democrats are saying, oh no, he has a right to privacy. Do you know why they ain't winning nothing? This is why people are going to vote for Donald Trump. They push back, saying that the students have a right to privacy. I'm done. I'm done talking about this. This is just pathetic. Like, it's so bad. I'm like crazy. Finland, there were other countries as well. I think Holland, they actually banned transitioning for children. They actually did the study and they found out it doesn't benefit them. Now, this is for some reason the United States, the greatest country in the world, the leading country in the world. The dollar is the monetary system above all other economy in the world. We still can't figure out that this is a bad deal. Like, what is so wrong with us?
And the thing that gets me is like post and pre-op, how can I put this in YouTube terms? Self-deletion rate
increases.
Is the same.
Yep. It doesn't change a thing.
It doesn't change.
Yeah.
Because what's his name said? Jordan Peterson said,
it's in the psyche.
It's it's a deeper psyche issue.
Yeah,
it's the underlying depression and cover you.
Yeah,
polishing a turd is still a turd.
Yeah. Look, the kid says, I feel a certain type of way about myself and I feel like deleting myself. And he said, oh, I got the answer. Come here, let me cut this part of your body. He said, no. I'm telling you how I feel. This stuff is in my mind. It's in my brain. It's in my head, my psyche. No. Let me cut off your body parts. That is evil. Like there's no other way to say it. That is wickedness.
Yeah.
And that's why there is no difference in when it comes to self-deleting rate. It's still the same. In cases, I think it might be worse. What we don't know. We don't have the data yet because the study has to be done. So we're not gonna find out a couple years from now. But by the time we find out, the damage is actually done. You know how this thing goes.
It only takes one generation for the human race to go extinct.
It doesn't look like we're not far. We're not far from it because these guys are working overtime to make sure that happens. All right, let's take a listen to these people because this is the American College of Pediatrics. So they went off, and for good reasons.
And we have serious concerns about the physical and mental health effects of the current protocols promoted for the care of children and adolescents in the United States who express discomfort with their biological sex. This declaration was authored by the American College of Pediatricians, but really it was developed from the expertise of hundreds of doctors, researchers, and other healthcare workers and leaders who, for years, have been sounding the alarm on the harmful protocols that continue to be promoted by the medical organizations in the United States. Despite recent revelations from the leaked WPATH files and the recent release of the final report from the CAS review, these medical organizations have not changed course. So we are calling on these medical organizations of the United States, including the American Academy of Pediatrics, the Endocrine Society, the Pediatric Endocrine Society, the American Medical Association, the American Psychological Association, and the American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry to follow the science and their European colleagues and immediately stop the promotion of social affirmation, puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones, and surgeries for children and adolescents who experience distress over their biological sex. In our declaration, we affirm that sex is a dimorphic, innate trait defined in relation to an organism's biological role in reproduction, male and female. This genetic signature is present in every nucleated somatic cell in the body and is not altered by drugs or surgical interventions. Consideration of these innate differences is critical to the practice of good medicine and to the development of sound policy for children and adults alike. Medical decision-making should be based upon an individual's biological sex. It should respect biological reality and the dignity of the person by compassionately addressing the whole person. We are here defying the claims made by these medical organizations in the US that those of us who are concerned are a minority and that their protocols are consensus. They are not consensus, and we are speaking in a loud, unified voice, enough.
Enough, somebody.
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough. This is the fact right there, boy. You gotta be a medical institution primarily run by a religious institution. You have to, because most medical institutions that are run by the government, they can't speak against this. So it takes a Christian-run based institution to do this. Yes, the Roman Catholics, we have some issues with the Catholics' doctrines, but I wouldn't disqualify these women. These people have done their homework and they know what they're talking about. So they're sounding the alarm. Hopefully somebody listens. You know, it's just wickedness, man, boy. Out of time. These Democrats are demo rats. So we want to end with our guy here. I know we gotta wrap this thing up. Wow, we're gonna have we got almost to everything. Just like 2 videos we didn't touch. So
two really good videos.
Yeah,
I mean,
we should save that for our next live stream, though.
All right.
Yo, he put out this song the day after.
Yeah, like legitimately within 24 hours.
Somebody went to work.
Somebody was Tom was motivated.
Yeah, he was paying attention. Definitely.
And it went #1 on 3 different charts.
Really?
Beating out Eminem.
Eminem with that. The demonic album. Yeah. Oh, wow. Tom McDonough. Top songs. Okay. You miss. Oh, man, you miss.
Yeah.
That's my guy. I thought he was gonna push back against. When I saw this video, I'm like, oh, is this a pushback against? Was the guy who dissed him recently?
Mac Lethal.
Mike Lethal. I'm like, I know Tommy's gonna respond to that. I was listening to the Mac Lethal stuff. Mac Lethal is also.
I think he's
First of all,
done
as a,
doing all that stuff.
yeah, as a rapper, he can rap. Period. He can rap.
Eh.
But the message in his lyrics is very similar to MSNBC. I was like, is he attacking MAGA are all racist? Is he attacking anybody who supports Trump? So as like whenever you start calling people racist because of their political views, you lose me. You lose me. I will never call you racist because you're a Democrat. I will never call you evil because of that. Okay? I might have an issue with your policy, but I'm not gonna condemn you as a person. I will say you need to check your policy. You need to rethink that through. But if you say because a person loves Donald Trump, automatically they're racist, I'm like, yo, like, you lose me because that's not true. That's not how you identify human beings. You have to look at character. You don't look at political party. That's not how you do it. That's not how Christians supposed to behave. So that's what he did in the video. That's why he really lost me. And I think that could be another video. I didn't even want to waste time doing a reaction to it because there was so many cursing words. I'm like, you cuss too much. I wish you could just do it without all the F-bombs, but
he went #1 in digital song sales, R&B, hip hop, digital song sales, and rap digital song sales.
Wow. That's your guy. That's your guy. The official chart. You miss. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he does this all the time. This is nothing new. Nothing new. Independent artist, the guy recorded a video in his house the day after, and then he blew up all over the place. You can't. It doesn't get any better than this. Anyway, let me stop chatting. Let's get to the video.
They burning the country down with their progressiveness. It started with changing what gender is, then graduated to you're racist if you think that your life matters and your skin don't have melanin. They don't want peace, they want skeletons. They want men to pretend that they're feminine. They don't want an election, they got so offended by freedom that they just try killing the president. I used to think that the woke were misguided, but now I can see that they're evil. Twitter is angry that Trump isn't dead. You know who got shot? Innocent people. Thought y'all were tolerant, thought we were equals. I thought you valued how everyone feels. Then why are y'all celebrating an attempted assassination like you're part of Antifa? Thank God the left can't aim. Thank God the right don't riot. Welcome to the home of the brave. Freedom ain't afraid of violence. You wish you was dying? Bitch, you missed. Thank God the left can't aim. Why can't we just shoot straight? Y'all are going insane. Bitch, you missed. There's no one else you can blame. Tried to lock him up in a cage. Now you trying to kill what you hate. Bitch, you missed.
Boy.
I mean, tell me where he's wrong in any of that.
Fire. We have to end it on the bang, somebody.
Like, innocent people were hurt, and the left is celebrating it. Everybody has been trying to tell him for years that, you know, he's been saying, no, they're not that bad. They're not that bad.
I think he sees it now.
And I think he's finally starting to come around to be like,
yeah, he wanted to be a centrist. He wanted to be somewhere in the middle and common sense kind of guy.
Yeah.
But these times in which we live, it's like there's no such thing.
I think it's kind of hard for him not to see the writing on the wall.
There's no such thing. It's too obvious now. The left is
like, even his last video, you see where you know sides bickering at each other.
Like they promote the evil in your face kind of thing. They don't really care about how you feel anymore. Yeah.
I mean, I think he's starting to realize that, you know, they just want to burn the country to the ground and remake it into something else that is far worse than what we have.
Yeah, we're dealing with communism and Marxism in the mix.
Yeah.
Like, you have a mixture of both. The ideology is Marxist, but the behavior is communist. If you like watch what's going on here, like separating parents from kids, that's communist propaganda. Like enemy number one is the family. That's Karl Marx playbook stuff.
Well, actually, enemy number one is Christianity.
Yes, I'm glad you focus on that. But in Karl Marx writing, he focused on the family. But we know Christians have strong families, so it goes back to the Bible.
Exactly.
Yeah. So the whole idea of the government becoming bigger and as we get smaller, that's also Karl Marx ideology.
Hmm.
It is. It seems as though Karl Marx had, really
Kind of goes hand in hand.
yeah, he made it look like he was trying to fix things, but when you really follow the trajectory, how the Communist Party, in principle, that's what's being promoted. Like Black Lives Matter was a communist movement. Like a lot of
Absolutely.
the left-leaning ideology, when you
So
talk
is
about
Antifa.
yeah, when you talk about DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, like the whole idea behind that is we're supposed to come to the same conclusion, even though we didn't start at the same time. So that means you have to oppress somebody else to elevate somebody else. So that is also communist. That is also Marxist.
And that's the whole thing. It's
Yeah.
about equal outcome, not equal
Cool.
opportunity.
Yeah.
But
Opportunity.
America is about equal opportunity, not
Yeah.
equal outcome.
Because not all of us are willing to work at the same rate. Like you can say, I'm giving somebody $1 million and I'm giving you $1 million. I can take $1 million and do something with it that benefits and invest. Somebody else can put some grills in his mouth, right?
Mhm.
He can do that because he's got the money. I'm not trying to go after my man here. That's my guy.
Right.
But some people can put some spinners in their cars, right? Some people can put some chains around their neck and then they're broke the next day and they want to come to you and trying to rob you of your $1 million that you've invested and got 10 millions as a result of that. So do you blame DEI for this or do you blame the person's decision?
Mhm.
Like that's stuff you have to think about. People are not all going to do this. Like it doesn't work in all cases. This is not to say we should not have compassion and a system in place to help and assist people who are struggling. That's not what I'm talking about. On the basis of class, yes, but the idea that you white, so therefore you need to like calm down and let the black people go ahead of you. Like, what is that? We need a Kamala Harris because she's black and she's got a she's got a vagina. Like she's president because of that. That's literally what they're telling us. Like, are we that dumb and stupid? Like, can she get the job done? Like, I don't care about what her skin color is, what she has between her legs. What I care about is
What are her policies? What does she want to
get
enact?
the job done. Yeah. Like I want my surgeon to be able to perform the surgery. I don't care if he is
At the
black.
highest caliber.
That's it. That's it. I don't even care if he's transgender, if he's gay. As a matter of fact, I don't care about that. Can you get the job done? But that's not what the left is telling us.
And that's the thing is equal outcome
Mhm.
is like two wolves and a sheep fighting over what's for dinner.
Yeah, I remember that one. Similar to similar to like democracy. Yeah.
And it's like the only thing you get from equal outcome is everybody being equally poor.
So sad. So sad. All right. Let's move on.
Told us trust the science, but it never made sense to me. Why would we put all our trust in the enemy? Millions of people are hooked on amphetamines. They're making billions on untested remedies. Borders are open to people with felonies. Biden can't stop them, he don't have the energy. Y'all want to kill the man trying to fight for a better tomorrow by making him Kennedy? I tried to give y'all a chance, like maybe the left isn't nuts. I was wrong, cause y'all are exactly as crazy as every conservative person I know said you were all along. Wanna protest, go hard. Wanna burn flags, go off. But y'all are so triggered that you're pulling triggers at presidents. Y'all the terrorists when you're armed. Thank God the left can't aim. Thank God the right don't riot. Welcome to the home of the brave. Freedom ain't afraid of violence. You wish you was dying? Bitch, you missed. Thank God the left can't aim. Why can't we just shoot straight? Y'all are going insane. Bitch, you missed. There's no one else you can blame. Tried to lock him up in a cage. Now you trying to kill what you hate. Bitch, you missed.
I think the one part that I will disagree with, and again, this is not to blame Tom McDonald here because he did this video right after. He wasn't that they just missed. It was because God intervened. Because yes, they missed because God had intervened. If Trump didn't turn his head, if Jesus didn't send his angels to protect Trump that day, that would have been a headshot.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, the guy took a good shot at the man. It was a very good shot. Like he didn't really miss his target, the only reason he missed his target is because his target moved. That was it. So, just saying,
And
that is a scary reality.
that it really is. And it's like we were that close, and to think we're that close
Scary.
to having I can't possibly fathom what this country would look like now if
It will not have been good. This much I know.
yeah. And like Tom says, even with everything that happened, the everybody on the right, on the conservative side, we're not acting the fool.
No. And they have every
We're
reason to do it now.
we not that saying that we don't, but we're keeping cool, calm, collected, and level headed about all of this.
I believe that Jimmy was also protected. It's true. Conservative now have a reason. If we were really violent, as they claim conservatives were, right? You would have seen violence. This was a call.
Exactly.
This would have been a call. Could you imagine if a conservative had done something like this to Biden? Oh my goodness!
So now,
The world would be on fire.
now, real quick, side tangent. Take this one step further. Go back to Destiny's logic. Okay? If we're so violent and rhetoric driven, go back to January 6th. If we're so violent and causing an insurrection and trying to do this other thing in the Capitol, well, that doesn't make sense. Does it?
Yeah.
I mean, because we didn't do it here when our primary candidate almost got eliminated. But we did it there over an election? Really? What sense does that make?
Makes no sense. Makes no sense. Now I know some people could say it's because you are afraid of the pushback, right? You don't want to go to prison like the January 6ers, which I think some of these people are innocently put behind bars, some of them at least. But think about January 6th quickly. I don't want to say too much about this. You had an insurrection, but none of you had a weapon.
Yeah.
Wow. That's interesting.
It just the math doesn't add. The math doesn't math.
All I know, if I were to do an insurrection, and it's not my thing, I don't think that way. But if I were to go to do an insurrection, I would definitely bring on some weapons. Like if that was the goal. Like I'm just saying that
Definitely
that
have
is
some
not.
pew-pews.
Oh yeah. I will definitely have brought with me some pew pews, and because how else can I get the job done, man? Come on now. I'm just saying that just doesn't look right. It looks like it was staged. It was set up that these people were to get in trouble that way. But and they were denied. When Trump asks for military, he asked for protection for the Capitol
for an extra detail.
Yeah,
for the National Guard.
For National Guards, it was denied by Nancy Pelosi, who came out and actually admitted that. It also sounds to me that this is all part of the game.
It's all part of the plan. So,
Tom McDonough, you said it right, man. He said it right.
Trying to kill what you hate, bitch, you missed.
Thank God he missed.
Amen.
Oh, praise the Lord for another wonderful day. Oh man, where's my balloons? Falling hearts, stars, stage light balloons, fireworks. Okay, let's do some fireworks. We can make it a little bit bigger than that. There we go. Let's try this again. All right, having way too much fun with this thing. All right. All right, there we go. It's been fun. It's been real. We spent 3-something hours together. This was a great live stream. Darth Vader, I want to say thank you, and also for hanging out with us.
Yeah.
Sorry for waking you up, man. Sorry for waking you up.
No. That's fine. That's fine. I forgot to set an alarm. My
Yeah,
bad. That's why I gave you my number.
All right. Amen. All right, Jamie, thanks for hanging out with us. Awesome videos. I hope you really enjoy the show. We're going to do some editing here. As you and I already know, we're going to be throwing some videos all over your channel as much as possible. All right.
Thank you, Jamie.
God bless you, everyone. I would like to pray to close. It's been a great day. I don't want to make it long. It's been long enough. Let us pray. Father, we just want to pause right now and thank you for another wonderful day. Thank you for the ability to come together to talk about these issues. There's a lot going on in the world. But, Lord, we need you. Our world, our country, Donald Trump and many other leaders in position of leadership right now in this country, they need you. We pray for them. Yes. We pray for their safety. We even pray for every Democrats that are working, even those who are maybe doing evil right now. We pray that the grace of God will visit them. There will be a change of hearts as well. Yes. We want to pray for our audience, for our friends, those who are watching the Heart of Darth Vader and watching the Look and Live channel, those who are live with us right now. We pray for a special blessing over their families. Some were not able to stay the whole videos, and it's okay. I pray that you will bring them back to watch it, Father. But much more, Father, we thank you for all of those who have been supporting us, who've been standing with us and assisting us. We love you for all that you do and more, and we give you thanks for your grace and your mercy. Be with my friend Darth Vader, protect him and watch over his family. Remember his mom, his children. I pray that you will continue to provide for his means as well. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, God bless you guys. It's been a great day. I'll see you in the next video. I think we live again 2 weeks from now. So make sure you save the ones we didn't get to so we can talk about that next time.
For sure.
All right. Have a good one, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.